What y'all on? What y'all on? Prime was good, my boy. Y'all can hear me? Happy Friday. My boy Prime said, "You can help the problem. It's never enough. Another problem will surface." That is true. That is true. That is true. We're gonna get into that for sure, for sure. But that's a great point. It never ends. Show enough, my boy. Show enough. What's going on? Show enough. What you on? Y'all on? Happy Friday. We live in this thing. We gonna get it rocking. Brinks, my boy Brinks. What's going on? What you on, Brinks? I'm in your side. I'm on your side of town. What y'all on, chat? We gonna get started in a minute. Give it like 5 more minutes. We gonna get started. What y'all on? Y'all at work? Where y'all at? Y'all at work? Vacation? Chilling in the crib? What plans y'all got for the weekend? Brinks, yeah. Brinks, I'm in a coffee shop. Global MVP, my boy. What's going on? What's going on, my boy? We got some of the dream team in here. What's going on, y'all? Yo, y'all, my internet good, y'all? My, my internet good? Y'all can hear me? My internet was tripping earlier. I don't know if y'all can hear me. I'm back on my laptop too. Hopefully the picture was kind of crazy when I was on the balcony, but I think it's because there wasn't no light. But we in this thing, man. MVP. Okay. So enough said, yeah, man, out here in the Matrix trying to get like you. I'm plugged in right now. I ain't gonna lie, my boy. Plugged in. What y'all think about that Matrix video? It's kind of loopy, right? I was just thinking about it one day. I'm like, I got it twisted. Yeah, Brinks. Brinks say, yeah, you good. MVP. Okay. I was out yesterday. One of the subscribers, I went out yesterday. One of the subscribers, nice little spot. I gotta put y'all on. One of my next videos, I'm gonna put y'all on. Nice little low key spot. They had the sangria. Sangria was popping. Good mofongo. Mofongo was lit. The traffic busting already. It's only 1 o'clock. Traffic is busting out here. I feel like today is like busier. I don't know if the summer ended and more tourists is coming, but I feel a little busier. Brinks, what you think? You don't feel like it's busier? Global MVP. Did you see Zoe video? Who's Zoe? Let's see. Yeah, it felt crazy. Brinks said the power been cutting off all through Santo Domingo all morning. Oh, for real? I haven't had a blackout in my sector since the live. Since the live. So we've been kind of alright, but it's still been kind of crazy. It's hot. It's hot as hell out here. Oh, Prom said being cheap with the vibes in DR doesn't work long term. You have to be cool with spending some bread. Prom, you know what you're talking about, my boy. You definitely locked in. That's what we're gonna talk about today. I'm about to start in like a minute. Frank say, yeah, they've been honking all morning. Folk outside. Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on. It's feeling a little more vibrant out here. It's usually trafficy and a lot of traffic, like foot traffic too. But today is like kind of wild. Uh, Brink said, plus folks getting paid in this Friday. That's true. I actually got to pay my landlord. You could say I got to pay that. He probably looking for his bread. MVP said international zone. Now, what the video was about? Yeah, I got to pay that man today. Once I hop off this joint, I'm gonna send him his bread. He come looking for me. He living a good life, yo. He living out in the U.S., collecting all this rent. He collected my rent, collected my neighbor rent. I'm gonna have to put some fire to him. All right, guys, let's get started, man. Enough is enough out here, man. Let's get started. All right, so as you guys can see today, we're gonna talk about expectations. Expectations, man. Expectations. I talked to a lot of guys over the years, a lot of guys, and it's like the same problems, right? We all deal with the same stuff. We all got similar stories. And one of the biggest things I've run into is the expectation thing. And honestly, I can't pinpoint where this started. I guess the rhetoric and the whole idea is like when people first started like really publicly talking about dating internationally, a lot of it was like, how different it was from the US. So I think a lot of people got that in their mind, like, when I come to these countries, it's gonna be a whole different scenario. Girls ain't gonna be asking for me for money. Girls ain't gonna be, begging me, charging me basically to link up. They kind of felt like they were gonna be able to come date and, not having financial responsibility. I can tell you guys that's not real. That's not real. That's cap. It's nowhere in this world you're gonna go and a woman just gonna be like, yo, I don't need. Well, let me take that back. It is places that you probably could go, but those would be more first world countries. But it's none of these third world countries that a lot of people like to visit, a lot of guys like to visit. You're gonna go and get these and find these type of women that have the mentality of like they don't need help. First of all, you gotta understand, guys, we go into places, a lot of us is traveling to places for geo arbitrage, right? Because we got more money. We got more money. The money goes further. You get a better bang for your buck out here. So keeping that in mind, you're going to places where people have less money. And a lot of people think like, yo, I'm going to somewhere people got less money. They're less independent, but somehow they still gonna not need help. Wake up call. A lot of these countries are not built for women to be in like one person households or one income households. The system not built for it. They're not making enough, and that's why a lot of the feminism still exists here. A lot of feminism A lot of the gender roles, the traditional idea of what a man does still exists here because nothing has changed as far as like economically. It's still built on the idea that women almost can't live alone or it's very hard for them to live alone. They need some type of subsidizing income. They're not going to be able to make ends meet by themselves. With that being said, if you are coming just to date, if you're coming to jump around, date one girl, another girl, another girl, another girl, I don't think this should affect you too much. I think you will be okay because once this comes up, you could just find a new girl. For the guys who want to date seriously, long term, who want women like to have maybe one woman or even a roster, like a solid roster, maybe two, three girls, you're gonna have to get comfortable with the fact of spending money. Like I said, these women they already have in their mind that men resolve problems. You're gonna hear that a lot. If you come to the DR, you're gonna hear hombre se reserve, which means basically men find solutions. That's ingrained in the culture, and that's another thing. The cultural aspect of it, I think a lot of men is what they overlook because we look at it through American lens, right? And you gotta look at it like this: when women are asking for money here, it's under a different idea than it is back home. Back home, a lot of women got their own money. They just don't want to spend it. Here, a lot of women, some women got their own money, to be honest. Some women don't want to spend certain money on other stuff. But some women honestly think if I'm messing with you, I'm cooking for you, I'm doing all these traditional roles, I'm necking you off, I'm doing all this, sleeping with you, we getting crazy in the bedroom, etc., etc. It doesn't make sense in their mind for them to be doing this and not having anything in return, having to still figure out problems, having to still struggle to make end meet, having to still, do everything. So it comes to the point in their mind like culturally, it doesn't make sense to them. It's a disconnect there. So like I was saying, if you want to jump around, that's fine. But if you want a serious relationship, what's gonna happen is you're gonna run into the ultimatum problem. And anybody who has dated long enough and seriously enough in a foreign country like DR, not so much Colombia. Colombia a little weird, but like Brazil. If you dated long enough in these places, you're gonna realize that every relationship is gonna reach an ultimatum, where basically a woman is telling you like you have to step up financially or she's going to leave. That's just the reality of this thing. And a lot of men are failing with the relationships because, like I said, they're looking through it through the lens of, yo, like, why am I giving you money? You work. Why am I giving you money? Like I should be able to honestly be in this relationship for love. Let me tell you guys, love ain't enough. Love ain't enough, bro. If you coming out here thinking that love is enough, that ain't it. That with that, who made that song? Tina Turner. What's love got to do? Ain't like that out here, bro. It ain't like that. Honestly, love is just like love ain't gonna be paying these girls bills, helping them, get stuff around the house. It just don't make sense. And the problem is, here's the problem. A lot of these girls will like you, right? They will honestly like you. They will honestly want to be with you. And the problem will be that you're occupying a spot in their life that is supposed to be for somebody that's helping them. So you're occupying a spot that could be like a potential spot that helps them with this, helps them with that, helps them with that. So as much as they like you, it's like, yo, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm still struggling. I couldn't get this week. I couldn't take care of this bill this week. And I know if I had like a real guy in my life, a real person in my life that was actually helping me with this stuff, I could do it. But now I'm with Joe Schmo, who I like. I'm a dummy. I'm a dummy because I'm rocking out with him, and this guy, he don't want to help with nothing. And like I said, a part of it is our ego. I think like we look at it like, yo, this girl trying to play me. She trying to take money from me. She trying to finesse me out of my bread. But I think we got to kind of change that lens and put ourselves in a more realistic kind of mindset. Like, yo, I'm in a poor country. This person's making less than me. They're obviously, you know, they have a job. But if you guys knew some of the salaries they make out here, some of the salaries out here, it will blow your mind. So you may see a girl working 40 hours, going to work every day. She may work in like a nail salon or something, but you got to remember, one, the work culture is different. So they may be some of them be in a nail salon all day. They got 2 clients that day, 3 clients, but they just sitting there chilling, drinking cervezas, presidentes, talking to their girls the whole day. You saying, damn, she worked 8 hours every day this week. She got to have money. She still asking me for money. She ain't make money like that, brother. She ain't make money like that. And that's where the whole like again, being able to communicate, talk to people in the culture, realize, how much you girls make, realize the expectations from a man, just not you, just any man. Like, and that's why a lot of foreign women kind of get turned off from dating abroad because they think because we make more money, it's gonna be easier, or we're gonna be more willing to give them money or to help with things. And that's where a lot of the local guys are beating you out because there's guys who make probably half of what you make, a third of what you make, but because they understand the culture, because they understand that men have to help, she gonna mess around and pick him over you because even though he don't make money, at least he helping with something. He giving them nail money or something. But again, I know the lens is kind of like you thinking about Tisha out in Brooklyn who asked you to get her nails and hair done, and you know she got a bag. So you got to stop thinking about it like that. It really ain't the same. So it's like a cultural disconnect I'm noticing. And let me I talked about this in another video, but let me be clear. This ain't for somebody who's like 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in, even 4 weeks in, and with a random chick. This is for somebody who really is like locked in with somebody. Y'all like each other. Y'all been rocking for a while, and you kind of reach that point where like she's asking you for things, she's asking you for help, and you don't know, you know, how to take it or how to do it or how to go about it. In that case, brother, I'm gonna tell you, you got two options. You can either stick with her, make the investment, or you can walk away. Those are two options. And like I was telling myself, like one of the subscribers yesterday, I'm not gonna put his name out there. I was talking to my subscriber, we was having dinner, and I was saying you're gonna reach a chicken before the egg or the egg before the chicken. You're gonna have to reach that point. Like which one come first? Because what basically is happening is women want to understand if you're gonna be a provider, if they can trust you in that position before they commit long term, and you want to see if they are going to be a good long term prospect before you start helping financially. So come to a point like, yo, which one are you going to be, or which one is going to come first? Somebody going to have to bend a knee. Somebody going to have to concede. Somebody going to have to make the first step. And Prime, my boy Prime brought up a good point. I'm about to get to y'all comments. My boy Prime brought up a good point. He said, where does it end? That's a good question. And to be honest, like I said, it never ends. It never ends. But I think again, we're looking at two different perspectives. Like one point is like, yo, I'm talking to a girl, and I'm only like kind of having fun. We in a fun phase, and she's bringing up these little problems, and it's annoying me, or I don't really want to make that investment. If it's that, bro, you're gonna have to walk away, brother. You're gonna have to walk away. Because at that point, it's not worth it. Because like the problem's gonna keep adding up. I'm not talking about those quick flings, those little fun situations. I'm talking about serious situations. You gotta vet the problems. You gotta kind of figure out what's real, what's not real, what the situation is. But I can guarantee you, if you're gonna want to be with somebody, you need to already have a budget for this. It needs to already be a budget for this. Mentally prepare yourself for a budget. If you're gonna be with somebody long term, you want a long term girlfriend, you're gonna have to budget for problems, situations you gotta help them with, and it's common problems and then it's just BS problems. You gotta be able to sort through them. If a girl, like I said, you met her 1 week ago and she telling you she don't got nothing in the refrigerator, it's clipped, it's done. That's done. If it's a girl that you've been dating for like 3, 4 weeks and she's like, yo, I want to go out this weekend, but maybe she got kids. Like, can you pay for the babysitter? Or maybe you want to go to like, you want to go to Punta Cana or Lago Mana for a weekend. She like, yo, I don't have a babysitter. I really want to go with you. I gotta pay, I gotta pay the babysitter. Can you help me with that? You gotta help her with that, bro. If you're interested in her, you gotta help her with that. And I also feel like it's ROI, right? ROI, return on investment. If you want somebody and it's not gonna be something serious, then it's not going to be a big return on your investment because honestly, you can get it somewhere else. But if you want somebody and you want it to be long term, you want a serious relationship, you keep going and you keep realizing like you keep hitting a wall, you're going to have to make the investment and expect a certain return. Because honestly, it goes way further. Like if you're dating an American woman, right? A lot of times that investment, like once you send them money, the next day, it's like it never happened. It's like it never happened. It's like they just expected it. It was a level of entitlement, right? That you got to kind of sort through too. Here, like if you're dealing with a chick and you send her money and she has like a ungrateful demeanor, then that's it. You know it's not right for you. But if you messing with a chick and you send her something to help her out, and you could honestly feel the appreciation, the value in it, that just shows you that you made a good investment. That's gonna be somebody in long term. It's gonna be long term somebody who appreciates you helping, appreciates having you in their life. You become an asset to them. That's another thing. A lot of guys don't realize you become a liability to some of these females. Like you just sitting around. It's kind of like we don't look at it like that, but it's kind of like the guy who come home from jail and they start sleeping on the couch. He start eating the little kid's cereal, drinking up all the milk in the crib. That's the position that you kind of start taking place in these girls' life because you're not offering nothing except love. Some people too strung out on love, bro. When you in countries that are developing countries and you dealing with, because you guys honestly go for a lot of you guys honestly go for lower earning females anyway. You guys going for the low hanging fruit. You gotta be ready to deal with the situations that come with that. But anyway, let me see what you guys got going on, man. Let's see. Uh, okay, global MVP. Now I didn't see a video global MVP. Prom said being cheap with the vibes in DR doesn't work long term. You have to cool, yeah. Honker on morning. I gotta catch up. Okay, we got Uncle Ruckus. Women should help men, especially non-Western countries. The local men there got challenges. Women should help men. Okay, women should help men. What women? Like the local women should help foreign men, or local women should help local men? It's okay for men to look out for women. Uncle Ruckus says it's okay for men to look out for women, but once in a while, brothers need help. But not only limits to finances. Okay, yeah. Uncle Ruckus, I like that point. That's a good point, Uncle Ruckus. And that's another angle I think a lot of people don't look at when it comes to help, right? I think females ask for help financially, and sometimes I think women are undervalued in the way they help. Now, if you got a female, right, you got a woman that you know you ask her to do something, she give you attitude, you know, you ask her or you try to be romantic with her, you try to get intimate with her, she telling you no, she's tired, she don't want to do this. You ask her for a home cooked meal, she's saying she don't feel like cooking. You ask her for a massage, she talking about I don't feel like giving you that right now. You ask her for certain things, right? And she's not giving you that, then again, ROI, it's not worth investing in. You already know what you're getting. It's already there. You can already see where this is going. Now, that's the type of help I think a man should get from a woman. Because it needs to be mutual. We both got to be getting something from each other. You just can't be the only one giving. But the fact is, if she's doing those things, I got to preface it with that. If she's doing all those things, you definitely gonna want to help her, and make sure it's a mutual feeling. Prom said the other problem is that they only pay once a month in most jobs, so in between they pop. That's a good point, Prom. Women in DR are conditioned to put money and love in the same category. That's the system. Shaking my head, unfortunately. Prom, you on to something, my boy. You 100% Prom. That's the thing. That's another Western thing. I think a lot of men don't get. It's hard for us to realize that there's no separation in those two. They are very closely connected. A woman out here, damn near, I'm gonna be honest, she can't love you, bro. She almost can't love you if you are not helping financially. She can't. It's like wires don't cross, bro. It's a disconnect. It's fucking. It's short circuited, bro. It's not gonna connect. The two wires ain't gonna connect. It ain't gonna pop off. Cause in her mind, she's conditioned. Like once she start realizing she like you, she may just drop. She may just drop you, bro. Cause she's realizing that this is a liability. This is a liability. This guy, it's almost like they're measuring the two based on each other. But I would say I think you gotta stop thinking that's a negative. You gotta stop thinking that's a negative. I feel like that's the separating factor. Like if you could get a girl, if you dating her, and you could become an asset to her, not in a way that you'll be an asset in the U.S. I think it's completely different, and that's where men is messing up and making mistakes overseas. I think they looking at it from the U.S. lens and a U.S. relationship where you can help a woman in the U.S. and she will drop you the next day like it's nothing. If you could become an asset to this woman, if you could become somebody that she knows is going to be there to support her financially and support her in tough times, she is way less likely to drop you, or way less likely to cheat on you, or way less likely to be on Tinder like American women, and way less likely to be in that carousel of constantly looking for new men than a Western woman. She's way less likely to do that because now you are actually bringing value to her life, which, like I said, could be a positive thing. Men need to start using our advantages as advantages. Like in the U.S., we complain all the time: women too independent, women too this, women don't need men anymore. Then you come to a country where women still need men, and you complain about them needing you. It's kind of silly. Prom said, "Women in DR." Okay, I said that. Mike Lowry, dope video, dope last video you made. Appreciate that, Mike Lowry. Like that name too. Briggs said it ain't tricking if you got it. As a fact, as a fact, Briggs. Briss La Flame said, I've never been to DR. What do you think these women think about foreign men? We have a certain reputation there? That's a good question. That's a good question. I would say, Briss, we definitely have a reputation. The good thing about DR is like DR is not going through that. DR has been over the phase of like having American tourists or foreign tourists, really. They've been over that phase. A lot of these countries that are getting an influx of tourists, Thailand, Colombia, they're still getting used to it. So they're still kind of in that honeymoon phase, which is starting to wear off in a lot of these places, to be honest. In the DR, you don't have to deal with that because there's so many Dominican Americans that have been going back and forth, and DR is so close to America to the US, and they've taken so much of the, I don't want to say taking it like they stole it, but they've been influenced so much by the culture that it's not a culture shock when they see you. So they have certain ideas of you, right? But for me, it's only been a little. It makes it a little easier and a little better. Um, so when they come here, they see you, they like you're American. They obviously think you got a little bit of money. Um, they like the swag. They like the again. They like the coolness factor you bring because you're kind of the standard when you come here as far as coolness. You come here, you're gonna be the one that they look at it like, yo, he's wearing this, and this because everybody in Santo Domingo wear the same things they would see on the music videos or in New York or in Cali or whatever. They it's the same fashion taste. So I feel like you have a bit of an edge in that sense. But at the same time, like I said, they also expecting like a certain financial obligation from you. And since they already think you have money, it's kind of like a shock in their system, and also sometimes a little disappointment when when they're expecting this help and you just never give it to them. So what a lot of girls will do out here, or a lot of women will do out here, especially if they like you. I'm gonna tell you, if they like you, they won't apply pressure at first because they don't want to lose you. So what they'll do is they'll just bring up these little scenarios, kind of seeing what your response is, you know, and then once they realize like, yo, I've been kind of hinted that I need like some type of financial help or whatever, and hasn't been, helping, they'll kind of fall back. And this is what you're gonna run into. You're gonna run into the restart problem. You're gonna be constantly restarting. You're gonna constantly need to be out getting new chicks because the ones that you're starting to get serious with or starting to get comfortable with are realizing like, dang, like this dude is not really filling the void like I thought he would. He's not gonna be the guy that I thought he would, and now I gotta start over. So it's almost like, do you want to keep making an issue? And I'll talk about this. I'll talk about this in a longer video, like a pre-recorded one. But it's almost like, do you want to keep making that initial investment, or do you want to start getting just some return on something by doing something long term? Where we at? Prom said they have short-term memory in DR. Whatever you did for them yesterday is going today. It's a new day. Prom. I don't. Some girls, some women for sure. Some women for sure have short-term memory, but I feel like that's more of the American woman. I feel like if you're locked in and you have a serious situation, like and your boots on the ground, I definitely think they have a great appreciation than some of the Western women. Western women, I mean, you can give them money 9 a.m. that morning. By 9 p.m. they talking to you disrespectful. They talking to you disrespectful. They giving you attitude, this, that, and the third. I'm telling you, if you are in the DR and you are consistently with a situation and you are helping them, I've never had them talk back, never had them be disrespectful, catch an attitude, etc., etc. And if they do, Well, you already know, like it's gone. But then there's something to lose. There's something to lose. The girl in New York who work at Starlet or work at like who's a bottle girl, tell her you leaving. Tell her, I dare you. Tell her you leaving. You're gonna see. You're gonna see how damn near useless you are, bro. She don't care. Like you just a finesse, and that's the difference. You was just a finesse. You wasn't like a lifeline. You wasn't like somebody who's making a real dent. You was the. She'll tell you too. She'll tell you too. Like that little $300 you sent me, that ain't nothing. You think you really did something? Like my weave costs $200. My weave costs $300. They'll straight tell you that what you did for them was nothing. Whereas you sending way less here, and it's way more of an appreciation. It's like, oh my goodness, I didn't know how I was gonna pay that bill. Oh my goodness, I didn't. And honestly, a lot of times it's pennies, bro. Now don't get me wrong. This is where you gotta be careful, guys. The finesse is here too. The finesse is definitely here too. You gotta be able to sort it out. You gotta understand what's going on. Don't be a dummy. If a girl straight up asking you for cash 2 3 weeks, like, come on now. You know that ain't right. Uh, Uncle Ruckus said, "Yes, men complain about women needing them." You're right. Yeah, Uncle Ruckus. That's like it. That's the one thing that kind of don't really how they say in Spanish. Me cabe en la cabeza. It doesn't fit in my brain, bro. It don't fit in my head. How it's like men kind of put women in kind of a damn if you do, damn if you don't situation. I get why we do it because honestly, I feel like we're a little tainted. Like we're a little put off by the whole like, yo, I need money. I need money to talk to a girl, or you ask me for money. But I feel like it's not the same. MVP said brothers had to prove themselves in the USA. Now, on my chat tweaking. Now, ladies overseas have the same requirements. What's your thoughts? Brothers had to prove themselves in the USA. Now, ladies overseas have the same requirements. MVP, I would say I don't. I think this is one of the 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 fallacies or one of the misdirections that came with the dating abroad community. Men abroad came up with this idea. A lot of the content creators came up with the idea to kind of sell people on the idea that women overseas are different. Like they're just completely different. They're a whole nother species. They're a whole nother, you know, category of women. They don't do enough. They don't do certain things. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Women, for me, going around the world, they're not that different. They are not that different. You're not dealing with this incredibly different species. They all have like female a certain level of female nature that they all latch on to. So they've all had like certain requirements. That was never to me in my experience. That was never true. I've never met a woman. I take anybody. I'll take anybody. I'll date anybody. You know, they've all had certain amount of requirements. I think how they went about it. I think how they went about it was differently. It's a certain level of femininity that you know is portrayed in different countries depending on the country, and the ask is different. The ask ain't for like send me $300 and if you don't then I ain't going I I ain't gonna come over and have sex with you. Like I feel like the lines get so blurred in America. I feel like here or a lot of countries abroad, it's kind of like like I said, a return on investment. Like I'm doing something for you. I'm being an asset in your life, and I'm proving to you that yeah, I could be a provider. I could be I could fill in that traditional gender role that you need in your life. I feel like that's always been the case. Like since the beginning of the time. That's why traditional gender roles exist today because men have had certain responsibilities, women have had certain responsibilities. But you get to the point, especially when you come to America, where it starts becoming a one-way street, where women only want men to do certain things, and women don't want to do certain things. They kind of throw all the gender roles for women out, and the men are still supposed to be the guys who primarily do all of the stuff. And that's where it becomes straight BS. And that's why I said if women are doing what they're supposed to do, and yeah, if they act accordingly, if they doing everything, and that's what I think these foreign women or you know women abroad get really upset about is that they're 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 cooking, cleaning, you know, taking time away from their kids sometimes, traveling to come see you because a lot of times they come to you, um, investing all this time in you. Like basically what they're doing is being a play wife. They're being a play wife, and a lot of foreign men don't want anything. They just want all of the benefits and don't want to help. John Jacobs. What are the prices looking like? The prices for what, John? Chris said interesting. Jacob said, how are, how, I guess, how hard is it to meet a baddie? Oh man, in Santo Domingo, walk outside, bro. Walk outside, go to a cafe, go to a mall, go to a bar and lounge nightclub. You're gonna see like three very attractive women. MK, my boy MK. What's the word, MK? MK said they're the same. Just if you find the right one, you will be the king and you will be the man of the household. But the main provide. Yeah, exactly, MK. That's exactly my point. Like women are the same. The requirements are the same. It's just what you get back in return. That's the only thing. The only thing is what you get back in return. If you could do it in America, you probably would get a very low return on your investment, to be honest. You could do it in a foreign country, and you probably get a way higher return on your investment because the women are going to be way more appreciative. They actually need a man. They can't go with that. They can't be flying with that philosophy. I don't need no man. I'm an independent, strong woman. Da da da. They ain't none of that. The system is not set up for it. Brazil tried. Brazil had a nice run with that. Brazil was like after COVID, like 2020 plus, they had a crazy feminism movement. It started to die down because their system, their jobs, their incomes, none of it is built for one woman household. Uh, One woman household to survive. It's not built like that. So they need more help. John said, "Which part of the DR are you in, and what's your mode of meeting females?" John, I'm in Santo Domingo. So Santo Domingo is like the capital, and like I said, bro, you can just walk outside and just do any of the things I said, bro. Everything here is like go to the gym, bro. The gym to me is one of the most heartbreaking places in DR. You know why? Not because of anything, but it's so many beautiful women there that it makes my head hurt sometimes with so many beautiful women in the gyms in DR, bro. It's like I feel like being at Johnny Bravo, talking to all of them. MK said and they would treat you like the king that you are, especially if you're taking care of them and they feel you and your vibe have it. There we go. Ding 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 ding. MK for the win. Steph Curry, three. Hit the bucket. That's exactly how you will get treated. You will get such a high return on investment, guys. That's what men I feel like I just want men to take that leap, throw away that American mindset, take the leap, and start being a traditional provider. The treatment you're gonna get is going to be so mind blowing. You're gonna throw that whole rhetoric of like, yo, women just asking for help. They always asking for help. They always needed something. They always begging. I hate that. I hate that rhetoric. They always begging, bro. You come into a poor country. Like, yo, I'm going to a country where they make less, and now I can't believe that they make less. Whoop de doo, whoop de doo. What a shocker, bro. What a shocker. I just seen a BMW try to beat out a truck. Some people are crazy at driving. But yeah, like that return on investment, do it, bro. Do it and see the type of treatment you get. That's why if you've noticed the YouTubers who are like in serious relationships, the ones who like come and do YouTube with like their wife or their girlfriend or a serious girlfriend, they always have kind of a different perspective because they're two different worlds, and people try to put them together. They try to put them together and be like, oh yeah, I'm dealing with this girl. She asked me for money and she's trying to finesse me. And the guy who's in a long-term relationship who do YouTube with his girlfriend, he's talking about how good foreign women treat them and how good they'll treat you and how they make you feel like a king and all that. But that's because they're on the other side of the road. They're on the other side of the road where they realize, okay, I'm a provider in the household. I'm giving my girl or my wife, everything she needs so she could feel comfortable, so that she could, rest easy, and they'll give you that 10 times back, bro. 10 times back. It's not America. Ruckus said, yes, man, want all benefits and no responsibilities for the woman. That's what I'm saying, Ruckus. It's a crazy scenario we going through, man. It's almost like we do what American women do abroad. We do that abroad, which American women do in the States. Like in the States, women want all the benefits from a relationship, don't want to give nothing. Don't want to give nothing. Want to be super low accountable, super low responsibility, super low all that. But once we get abroad, we do the same thing. We want a girl come over. crack us, crease our brain out, go crazy in the bedroom, cook a steak, make a sandwich, rub our feet, come over when we say, no talk back, no attitude, no back talk, you know. And when they ask for money, oh my goodness, it's World War Three. Britt said, I heard. Britt said, I heard that pretty much every woman has at least one child in the DR. Is that true? Britt, unfortunately, that is very true, brother. It is beyond true. It is beyond true, brother. The 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 child culture out here, like the having children culture, is very serious and it starts very early. I'm gonna do a video on that in the future, um, because it puts men in a weird situation out here. So if you are looking for women that don't have kids in the DR, not impossible, but hard, bro. Like I did a video about David Ortiz saying that women at 25 are already old, and a part of that is because a part of the child culture here is because of that mentality. Because women think like if you put 25 as being a wall for women, guess what? They're going to try to maximize a lot of their like I guess prime earlier. So they're gonna be already like trying to have kids, trying to get married, trying to have serious relationships. So in that video, David Ortiz is like, by the time a woman is 25, she's already had 3, 4, 5 serious guys, serious boyfriends, kids, all of that stuff is already on the table. So that's something you got to keep in mind here. If you're one of those guys who are like just a no go, just like you completely do not want kids, or you do not want to be a stepdad at all, it's going to be a little tough. Not impossible though. It's not impossible. But I would say if I had to put a percentage on it, you're gonna find if you're looking for a female like 23 and up, probably 65% of them probably have kids, more or less like 65% of them. Uncle Ruckus said, hide the cost of living in Santo Domingo versus La Romana and Barahona. But Barahona, I don't know. I'm not too sure, bro. Um, because I've never been there. But if I had to guess, I would put Santo Domingo as the most expensive, La Romana second, and Barahona last. I think Barahona is such a hidden gem. If you guys don't know, Barahona is like a city in the south of kind of in the south of DR, so it's a little below Santo Domingo. I'm not sure how much, maybe like an hour or two. Um, but it's a very like popular vacation spot for a lot of people out here. Barahoa, and if you guys see my video, Parabacoa, they're two places like in the rural parts or El Campo of DR, and those spots are like spots that you could get like really good like living deals. If you're somebody who don't really need the party lifestyle, if you're somebody who don't need like a big city experience, you could probably get a spot out there like 200. Like it's spots in Santo Domingo too that's that cheap, but there's gonna be some drawback. A lot of spots aren't furnished and stuff like that, but Santo Domingo is going to be considerably more expensive than both of those places, and also at the same time, um, Santo Domingo is like you'll you'll be in that big city atmosphere where you don't really need a car, you don't really need like a lot of that stuff to jump around. Places like La Romana and I'm guessing Barahona, you'll need a car, and you'll need to be more like you you'll need to be more comfortable with probably not having so much interactions with people. La Romana, I've been to a couple times. I got a bunch of friends. When I first started coming to DR, I felt like every chick I talked to was from La Romana. I got like three like serious situations in La Romana, and I've been out there very laid back compared to Santo Domingo. Very chill, very like calm. They got like maybe two real big nightclubs out there. But I would say this about La Romana and Santiago. They both like La Romana is known for having more like I would say like middle class kind of Dominicans. Like it's like a little bit up there in class. So you're gonna get like I hate to do this like classism stuff, but you're gonna get like kind of a better quality of women out there. To be honest, if you want to date and stuff, they tend to come from like better families or more well-off families. Uh, MK said, not all female, just in DR culture, is by the time you're 25, 30, you're considered old and should have been married by then. Yeah, yeah. And Latin America in general, I've noticed that like that 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 age thing is serious. Like I said in the video, like the wall in the U.S. now, I feel like they trying to push it up every year. I would say it's like 35 now, seriously. And in countries like DR, it could be like 25, 30. By 30, yeah, you're done. I remember I was talking to a chick, like, I had like 2 years talking to her. She was 27. She had no kids. I was like, dang, like she a hidden gem. And before I moved out here though, once I moved here, the baby picture went up. I'm like, holy, I dropped that to my knees when the Lord came. Uh, MK said Lauro Mine decent, way better than Capital, but it's building up. Get it now. Barahona, I wouldn't live there. Known for crime and a lot of other things have been there. It's okay. Yo, MK, does Barahona have a beach? I know people go there to vacation. Prom said Barahona is 3 hours away. Very nice people, very nice place, cool beaches, but infrastructure is not all like Santo Domingo. It's cheaper there, a lot cheaper. Yeah, Prom, I can see that. Um, like Semana Santa out here, which is like Easter week. A lot of Latin American countries they don't do just a day or weekend; they do like a whole week. So Semana Santa, people here used to go to Las Terrenas or Barahona, and Barahona is becoming more and more popular. Before it used to be mostly like Las Terrenas, but now a lot of people go to Barahona, and apparently the beaches is nice down there. It's more like you know more of a rural kind of country type vibe. But that weekend it be lit. Mike Lowry said, "I'm considering moving out. I'm moving there to Santo too. Where is the closest beach you visit?" Mike Lowry, Boca Chica is the closest beach, um, and Juan Dolio is another option. Also, it's more beaches. I heard they have really nice beaches in a city called San Cristobal, which is I think like an hour away from Santo Domingo. Those more low key beaches, nicer beaches. One Boca Chica is beautiful. Juan Dolio is beautiful. Only thing about Boca Chica is a lot of scammers and it's overpriced. And that's just not for tourists. I gotta clear this up. A lot of people think in Boca Chica they only scamming tourists. They scamming anybody, bro. They scamming anybody they could get. If you're a Dominican and you're not on your P's and Q's, I've heard tons of stories about Dominicans who get charged $40 for a pescado frito, so which is fried fish. So don't believe the hype. They scamming anybody. And if you're a tourist, definitely have your antennas up going to Boca Chica. I got a whole guide on that. I might go to Boca Chica tomorrow or Juan Dolio. If weather permits, I should be going to some beach tomorrow. But if I do, I'll make a video out there again. I got like a video already, but just the updated 2026 version. Juan Dolio is a little further, but it's less scammers. It's more chill. It ain't like that type of vibe that's going on in Boca Chica. The San Cristobal, I never been there, so I can't tell you how the vibe is out there. But because it's further away from the capital, I think it'll be, a little more chill and more tourist friendly. Uncle Ruckus said, "Get the likes up." Yeah, man, hit that like button, man. Smash that like button. We almost an hour in. Smash that like button, man. We rocking out. Prom said, "You need a car and buy the owner. Don't rent a car. It's better rent in Santo Domingo and just drive there because rental companies out there finesse and lie about the car you get in." I can see that, man. You got to be careful with the rentals. You got to be careful with the rentals, man. The rentals is definitely something like I've heard some horror stories about the rentals out here. So you definitely you gotta be careful about that. But I would definitely recommend like Santo Domingo. Find somebody or like if you know people out here, try to find somebody who can recommend you to somebody. I think that's the best way to do it. Try to find somebody that can recommend you somebody that they say is like they confiance. They say is like somebody trustworthy. Because if not, guys, it's gonna be tough. Barahona is okay. MK said Barahona is okay, but beaches are beautiful. Beaches are beautiful, but nah, I wouldn't live there. I gotta check it out, man. I gotta check it out. Even if I just go down there for vacation, I heard the south of DR it has nice beaches. I gotta knock it off my bucket list. Prom said Bonnie beaches are the only one. Okay, okay, from Santo Domingo, less than an hour to Santo Domingo, but never been. Uncle Ruckus said I read an article about the up in the airport on southern border of DR gonna be a tourist destination. Oh, for real? Oh yeah. I gotta rock out there. I gotta get out there. I'm feeling like so far, I think the best beach I've been to was in Bayahibe. by eBay. I think it's called Dominicus, something like that. Dominicus. That was the best beach I've been to so far in the DR. But there's so many hidden gems out here, y'all. Brish said, "Oh, which neighborhoods would you recommend for people who want to be in Santo Domingo long term?" Brish, it's all going to depend on your budget and the things you like to do. To be honest, it's all going to depend on those two things. If you if you under a tight budget, you could look at places in Santo Domingo Norte, Santo Domingo Este, and also keep your eyes out on a place called uh, right next to La Zona Colonial, Cascue. They have like a lot of they like up and coming neighborhood, not too far from Santo Domingo, like downtown, and they got some good price spots over there. Let me put it in here. Take a look at that neighborhood spots in that neighborhood. They got some upcoming spots, and it's pretty close to downtown. The only thing about that neighborhood is if you want somewhere central like that, you can easily get to, like you could walk to like a mall and stuff. It's not that many places, but like location wise, it's really good, and you can find some good prices. Now, if you don't have a like cheap budget, if you have like a nice little budget, you could do Bella Vista, um, Nach- Nacho or Naco, Piantini. These are a little more high budget places, but if you have the money, Brand, I would say like if you have about $900 plus, you could get a spot for rent, like 900 plus per week. Mike Lowry said, "Oh, where's the best neighborhood to live in Santo Domingo for 10 out of 10 walkability in your opinion?" Mike Lowry, for walkability, I would say Piantini. Piantini, you're gonna be pretty close to everything. You got malls all over the spot, especially if you buy Blue Mall, Acropolis. Um, if you really like a walker, you could go to Agora Mall, which is gonna be like probably 15-minute walk, maybe 20 minutes. You're gonna have 360, Galleria 360. You're gonna have about four malls of walking distance, and all of those malls have gyms, supermarket, nightlife. Piantini is gonna be a good option. Isla Sonora and by your eBay. Yeah, real problem. I haven't been out there yet, bro. I gotta get to Isla Sonora. I haven't been out there. I've been to Bahia Hibe, but like that main beach where the lighthouse is, beautiful. I went there Semana Santa, I think. Nice vibe out there, bro. Nice vibe out there. MK said depends on your budget, but safest would be PNT, Via Vista, La Julia, and Naco. Exactly, I agree. Perception. Oh, perception, my boy was good. My boy tap it in. MK Cruz said, "Oh, for real? Yeah, grow more. I gotta check that out." Trader Ju, what's good, my boy? Trader Ju said, "What's the best way to learn the language?" Uh, Netflix, Netflix and YouTube, bro, with the captions on. Listen, listen to it with the captions on, with the English subtitles. Then listen to it again in English with the Spanish subtitles. 10 minutes a day, minimum. 10 minutes a day, minimum, every day. No excuses. Wake up. You could do it when you wake up, get out the way, or you could do it after work or your break. 10 minutes minimum. Once you get that out the way, try to practice with somebody who know the language. Try to practice, text them, or make voice notes. Don't matter how silly you sound, don't matter what your accent sound like, don't matter if you mispronounce some words. Start off with the most simple stuff, bro. Start off just, ¿cómo estás? Start off just simple. Don't try to overdo it. Then work your way up, work your way up, work your way up. Mike Lowry said taco. Of course, Mike. You already know, man. Prom said best way I learned Spanish was exposure calls. You gotta be in the field and talk to anyone who will listen. You definitely need to put yourself out there. A lot of people are scared to put themselves out there, bro. A lot of people don't like I said, care about the accent, care about saying things wrong, care about pronouncing stuff wrong. It's like, bro, I can tell you right now, the biggest enemy of somebody who want to learn a language is the ego. You gotta throw your ego away. You're gonna mess up. You're gonna mess up, bro. You're gonna mess up. You're gonna make mistakes. People gonna laugh at you. I'm gonna be honest. People gonna straight laugh at you, bro. Straight laugh at you. I remember I went to a Kamado one time. I asked for like phosphoro. They laughed at me, bro. They said, "What?" I said, "Oh Lord, drop down to the knees of the Lord." Okay. It's an uncomfortable period, but once you get over the hump, I promise you, all the laughs gonna turn to like, dang, yo, you really speak another language? It's gonna be worth it, bro. It's gonna be worth it. Perception says study on your work breaks, yeah, or after work and practice speaking to Latinos in the streets. Best way is just getting out there, practice using it, practice using it. There's some people who only practice, only Duolingo, the vocabulary. You'll be the vocabulary king, but you will not know how to put the words together. You will not know how to, you know, respond in real time. Izzy. What's good, my boy? He said, have the conversation about money early. Be clear and let them know you're not a rich gringo. She would either accept it or move on, but have the conversation. Izzy, I like that. I like that perspective, bro. I definitely think communication is key. Communication is key. And I say it all the time. That's one like while we talk about language, that's one of the best things that language is gonna help you with. It's being able to communicate clearly and getting an understanding of the culture. Not even just to communicating with them. Like the David Ortiz interview. That's key information, bro. The David Ortiz interview where he breaking stuff down, breaking the age stuff down, breaking like women expectations he talks about. Take a look at that interview, y'all. Take a look at that interview with David Ortiz. Put the subtitles on. Use it to practice too. But put the subtitles on and just listen to what he's saying. It's going. He breaking that. He giving y'all all the game y'all need to really be able to maneuver in the DR. To be honest, so like Izzy said, have that conversation with him. Tell him like, yo, you know, here's the expectations. I'm working right now. I'm hustling, stacking up. Definitely tell him, yo, I have my own expenses, especially if you're outside the country. I used to always do this because, like Izzy said, the perception is, yo, dude got a bag. Like he lived in New York, he worked this, dude got a car. So they only thinking about revenue and they not thinking about cost. I used to tell chicks all the time, like I said in one of the videos. I used to send a chick a video about how much child kid costs. Child kid in America right now, that should be like, I don't even know what y'all tell me the price. I think it'd be like 2,000 a month or something. Child kid in America, I'll send it to her. Oh look, we ain't gotta be talking about child. Like, oh, it's crazy how much child kid costs, right? She's like, God damn, I sent a passage like this how much rent costs in New York right now. She'd be like, God damn. And she know no matter how much bread you get, and that's a lot of money. She know you ain't bringing no 20 grand. So if she see rent in New York costs 3,000, she know your ass ain't bringing no $20,000. So have that conversation, send little hints, and if you don't always have this, let me show y'all. Always have this on your phone, bro. If you don't speak Spanish, download this immediately. I repeat, download this immediately, bro. Let me pull up a chat. Download this. Y'all see this? On your browser, go to settings and go to your settings and your iPhone or your Android. Put preferred languages. Add another language. That way, whatever you seeing, you could translate it, screenshot it, and send it to them. See, it's gonna change everything to Spanish. That's gonna help you with getting your ideas across. You know what I'm saying? That way, if you see anything and you having a hard time expressing yourself, you having a hard time getting an idea through your girl head, because it gets very complicated when you start talking about complex subjects, right? When you start talking about money and like kind of trying to explain like things from your point of view, because you want to speak in English. That's what you want her to understand, but she don't understand no goddamn English. So what's gonna happen is she's gonna need some help. So whatever you want to speak, try to find something that can you could translate directly from a web page or through online, so you could send that over to her like, yo, look, this is how much rent costs. You don't gotta tell her. The proof is in the pudding. Screenshot, boom. You're gonna get the results, and she'll be like, oh, okay, I can't ask this man for $500 every week, cause goddamn, like his rent is $4,000. Let me keep going. Let's see. Perception said true, true one. True, one time I called one of my students evil and he cracked up. Yeah, that happened. Perception, it happened. You know what I'm saying? It happened, bro. It happened to the best of us. You just gotta take your time, you know? And all of that, to me, yo, you gotta earn your stripes. You gotta earn your stripes, bro. It's gonna come. But you gotta take your time, earn your stripes. Mike Lowry said, I think people's ability to learn the language really depends on their passion or yearning for the language. Mike Lowry is tapped in. You won't learn if you don't want to. You don't want it. To supiste. Exactamente, hermano. Exactly, bro. You gotta be locked in. You gotta have a motive, bro. You gotta be motivated. You gotta be motivated. You gotta know your purpose, and you gotta see the long game, bro. If you doing it just so you could crack some Latinas in Cartagena, you're done. You're done. You're gonna have a big problem on your hands. Perception. Shout out to Perception for the super chat. Perception said advantages knowing the language give you the dating compared to other foreigners. That's a fact. Perception is locked in. If you want a difference maker, if you want the separator, learn the language. That's another thing. Now I'm about to go on another rant. Thank you, Perception, for that point. I'm about to go on another rant. The subscriber I linked up with, yes, hold on, let me get to these comments real quick. Prom said, Pa que tú lo sepas. Prom, you locked in, my boy. Prom, you Spanish? You speaking that Dominican slang. MK said, you'll find it on Instagram real quick. And on YouTube recently, like a week ago. Yeah, MK. And we're gonna get to that poll. We got 67 people. Oh shit, I ended the poll. I ain't mean to do that. Hold on, let me put the poll back up, y'all. I tweaked out, y'all. I'm gonna put another one up in a minute. Y'all. Should women be able to ask for financial help? We got 67% saying yes and 33% saying no. You see, though, this is a great example of how online is an illusion, bro. Back to my Matrix video. Online is an illusion, bro. Everybody online saying that people begging, women are begging, women that don't need the money, they shouldn't be asking for help. We got a majority, an overwhelming majority, saying that women should be able to ask for help, financial help. We got a lot of providers in the chat. W chat, y'all. Before I go on my tangent, we got to have a super chat. Perception, appreciate the super chat, my boy. He said, "What's your thoughts when guys say there are no wives, Rio, Cartagena, Santo Domingo? Is there some truth to that, or it depends?" Perception with the MVP question. What's your thoughts when guys say there are no wives, Rio, Cartagena, Santo Domingo? And I like Perception. I like that you pointed out the cities too, because I hate when people generalize. We're going to specifically do Rio. Rio, no wives in Rio. Not a fact. Not a fact. Good girls in Rio. They're all wives in Rio. I'm going to tell you the biggest problem and why people fail dating in Rio. People fail dating in Rio more than probably any other country that I've seen is the difference in culture. The difference in culture in Rio moves on its own beat. It rocks on its own drum. The culture in Rio is so deep. The politics in Rio are so deep. Like, they have like almost what I call an isolationist mindset. These are countries like Cuba, right? When you think of Cuba, Cuba was isolated from the world for a long time because of the U.S. embargo. Brazil, for a long time, they always got tourists, a lot of tourism, but you gotta remember, like, they've separated tourists so crazy that, like, it don't matter where you're from, you're a gringo. If you're not from Brazil, you're a gringo. It don't matter if you're from Europe, you can speak Portuguese, all that, bro. It's Brazilians and then it's gringos. And it's two different worlds. They've separated the two. In Rio, guys talk to Brazilian chicks and don't understand, like, their mindset. They don't speak the language. They don't understand, like, the needs. They don't understand. They don't understand so much about what's going on in Rio that it's impossible to have a wife because they don't know what's going on in Rio. Woman there, it's a ficanchi. They have what they call a ficanchi kind of attitude out there. That means like if you don't ask me to be your girlfriend, then we not serious. We not serious. Once you make the clear distinction that like, yo, I have the intention to be, in a serious relationship with you, and I want us to be exclusive, then you're gonna have to go into build mode. You're gonna have to go into build mode. You cannot stay in this whole like talking stage for too long, or it's not gonna go nowhere. Because guess what? She gonna have two, three, four more guys like you, bro. It's no short of men out there, and because they already have that play playboy mentality out there, it's very hard to kind of swindle a Brazilian chick, bro. It's very hard. Like I don't know if it's the favela thing or whatever, but they are a little like rougher on the outside, so it's very hard. But I would say like when you meet a Brazilian, make your intentions clear, start building with them, and you can have a wife in Rio. But it's not gonna happen the way a lot of relationships happen in America, where we get in this talking stage for 6 months, and then we magically become boyfriend and girlfriend just because we know each other or we just been talking. Nah, you gotta go through damn near a formal process to reach that point. Now, Cartagena, I do not think you can find. I don't. It'll be very hard to find a wife in Cartagena. Cartagena again is another place that it's consumed by tourism right now to the point that a lot of women out there don't think American men are serious. The reputation is down the drain. Um, they 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 kind of only are seeing a lot of foreigners, especially if you don't speak Spanish, as a check. I'm gonna be honest. Right now, that's what's going on in Cartagena. And you got to remember, Cartagena. It's two worlds in Cartagena, and a lot of people only know like the tourist world. There's by the clock and stuff. But if you go a little bit out, you'll find like more regular girls. Those girls you have a better chance with. But I'm talking about the Cartagena that most tourists know. Very hard to integrate inside of that Cartagena lifestyle because a lot of them have such a crazy perception of you. I've talked to a lot of girls in Cartagena, and you just straight a lick. And the guys who are saying that you can't find a wife in Cartagena, I'm telling you, they're saying that because they're not leaving that bubble. Like, I'm gonna bring up a map of Cartagena right now. I'm gonna tell you where all these guys who are generalizing, Oh, we got Cartagena right here. All the guys who are generalizing Cartagena, this is where they go. You see that? That's where they at. And a little bit up the airport. That's where they at. That's Cartagena. That's the whole Cartagena they talk about. These guys speak no Spanish. They only go on this little ship of island, and they'll say there's no wives. And I ain't gonna lie, anybody you find in here is gonna be very hard to be in a relationship with them. I mean, as far as shit, anybody you find in here, it's gonna be very hard to find a wife here. Hold on. Very hard. That little strip of land, that little peninsula right there, gonna be hard. But let me show you what real Cartagena is. You see all of that? All of that? They've never been there. They've never gone over here, bro. All of that. Same thing with Medellin. Let me show you Medellin. Let me show you where people at Medellin. Bro. See right here? That's the whole Medellin. When they say Medellin, that's the whole thing they talking about. Blau. You know what I'm saying? Laureles. Places like that. That's the whole Medellin these people are talking about, bro. Look at all this. Look. People all up here. These places are big, you know what I'm saying? So, long story short, you're getting a very like slimmed down version of these places. Santo Domingo, for me, is this the best place you're gonna be able to find a wife out of all of those three. Santo Domingo is not overrun by tourists. You always gotta keep that in mind. Like a place that get overrun by tourists, you dealing with, it's so easy to just like find another one. It's so easy to just get put in a box. Place like Santo Domingo, you have a real shot at like. Ask anybody who come to Santo Domingo. A lot of people don't like Santo Domingo because it's again, the whole Matrix thing. It's not as much as the Matrix as a Rio. Rio is just perfect, damn near fantasy land, bro. You're gonna go to the beach and sit under that rock every day. Anybody, all the YouTubers you like, tell me how many of them you see in Rio go to that rock, that big rock on the beach, and sit under that rock all day, and just point the camera at women. And, oh yeah, she a baddie. Oh yeah, she a baddie right there. I'm gonna talk to her. Ask them what that happened when after they talk to her, bro. She give him a price, and that's why they say I can't find a wife in Rio. He go over there, he talk to her, and she get a price. He get a price, and then after he be like, I can't, I can't find a wife in Rio because you on the beach under the rock, bro. Rio's another one. Let me show you. You guys, I don't know if I showed you guys when I was in. I'm gonna butcher the name, but it's like Nova Igusa, where my ex is at. Let me see. I don't know if I ever dropped. Did I drop? I don't think I dropped that footage, y'all. I don't think I dropped that footage. Let me give y'all some exclusive footage, yo. Let me give y'all some exclusive footage. I never dropped that footage. Hold on, y'all. I never dropped that footage. It's crazy. Did I show y'all? Did I show y'all like my ex crib? I know I dropped the New Year's Eve video, but I don't think I showed y'all the behind the scenes. Where the hell is the behind the scenes at? Oh, did I? Oh, I took it down. Oh, that's goofy. Hold on, let me put it back up. That's goofy behavior. Fuck, I take my thing down for. Oh my goodness. Let me just find it. Hold on, yeah. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. I'm about to give y'all some super exclusive joint, bro. Let me jump back in these comments real quick. We got MK. My boy MK says the pen, brother. Where you going home date and what family? Very, very, very true. Very true. Let me give y'all some exclusive info. Archive. We digging the archives. January 2025 was it? January. Yeah. I dropped down to the knees on low key. Was it this? Oh yeah. Where the hell? Oh no, it was a little bit before, but where's the files at? Nah, that was different. Was it 2005? Damn, that was a long time ago. All right, y'all, I got the exclusive footage, y'all. Did I show y'all this? Did I show y'all this? The exclusive footage. So y'all remember I went to Brazil, right? I went to Brazil New Year's 2025. The boy had to get Fleet hit up Gucci, you know. But anyway, let me get to what we need to get to. Game time with the 1942. That was real. This is to get in Rio during New Year's, right? A zoo. Absolute movie. We're gonna get to what we need to get to though. See that I'm working backwards, y'all. Hold on. Did I show y'all this? I'm in Nova Iguaçu in Rio. I'm gonna show y'all where that's at. I was in a favela, bro. Well, not the favela. I ain't the favela, but I was in a little situation with the joint, going crazy up there. This is they don't be here, bro. This where you find it. You can find a wife out here, bro. You with the family and all that. That's where you gonna find a wife. You ain't gonna find a wife with the dudes who got them in. You know what I'm saying? They got them in the Airbnb where they had to ask the my man for the to get them in there. Hold on. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all where they talk about. This is Nova and Gusu, right? Y'all see that? Next to Belfort Roxo. If you're in Brazil, never go to Belfort Roxo. It's one of the most dangerous places you could be in Brazil. Belfort Roxo. That right there, that red sign is where I was at. Nova and Gusu, right? Let me show y'all where everybody talk about when they talk about Rio. Y'all see where I was at? Y'all see that red dot? That's where I was at. This is where people talking about Rio, bro. Copacabana. Let me get closer. That's the whole Rio they talking about. That little spot right here. I can't find a wife right here. That's where they can't find a wife, bro. Ipanema, Copacabana. Let me show y'all where I was at. That's where I was at. Like an hour, 45 minutes away. Next to Duque de Caxias and all that. Belfort Hostel. Local girl, bro. Local girl. Chill. Good people. All right, back to the chat. Briss said, from which countries are the women who live in Santo Domingo? Uh, Briss, from which countries? Like the tourists? It's tourists from all over, bro. I'm gonna be honest. It's tourists from all over. Um, from the U.S. Um, tourists from all over. But if you mean like what they mix with here, like the women are like they got like Spaniards. They come from like Spaniard, indigenous, and African. Like it's a mixture of those three. If I'm getting the question right, but if not, reword it and let me know, and I'll try to answer better. Mike Lowry said, of all Latin travels, why'd you pick Santo Domingo to call home? Um, Mike Lowry, that's a good question, bro. I pick Santo Domingo because it was the place that felt like the best balance of like real world, real life, and also had a lot of the traits that I like from Latin countries. I don't want to be in a place that feels like per fantasy or la la land or per like made up land. I need a place that's at least a little grounded. Like it's still regular people, still local minded people, not people that think that, every tourist is just like the same and, things like that. I needed a place that had a good balance of both. Rio to me, I think is one of the scariest places in the world. Not because it's dangerous, because Rio, unless you get really integrated, you just could fall in love with that place. But you'll almost you'll have a difficult time like finding like deep connections. You'll have a difficult time finding deep connections. You'll find friends and stuff, but it'll be kind of on the surface because, like I said, they put they put the two worlds apart. Also, it's not too far from the U.S. The prices are good here. I speak Spanish, things like that. Mr. Research says you are over there correct. Let's interview the dark skin exposers. Let's interview the dark skin exposer. What you mean by that, Mr. Research? I need answers, bro. I need answers. That was kind of a wild statement. I need to understand. I want to get into that. All right, guys, we 2 hours in. Hit that like button, man. Smash that like button. We 2 hours in. Y'all want me to keep going? I'm rocking out with y'all. It's a good live today. I'm liking the question. I'm liking the vibe. We rocking out. Brinks said facts. Brinks out here. Brinks snow. It's not overly like, and some people think that's a good thing, guys. But I'm telling you, it's not that good of a thing, bro. It's not that good of a thing when you have these I guess situations where you feel like everything perfect. The sun is always shining. Like you need a little dose of reality in there, bro. Keep you hungry, keep you on your feet, keep you motivated. Like you don't want to go somewhere where everything too easy. You want to start questioning things, and then when reality hits you, smack you in your face. Next thing you know, you're back in the house. Be all perfect, bro. And then also it comes in the question of vices. A lot of people get ran over by their vices when they go to these super exotic foreign like fantasy places, bro. In Rio, you gonna drink yourself out, party yourself out, pro yourself out, and all that, bro. Rio is tough. And I'm not saying to vacation. Rio is an amazing place to vacation. But to live for extended amount of time, I don't know. It's tough. We got TF. We got TF in the building. You OTF, my boy? TF says Santo Domingo seems like a nice place to live with flights to all the other places a lot of people like to visit. Absolutely. That's a great point, TF. TF, I'm gonna tell you like this. Another perk. Since I've been here, I've had people, and this is one of the good things. I've had people from the more tourist out countries come here because DR is still a tourist attraction. So at the end of the day, people still want to visit. You go find your friends, family, they're not going to turn down a visit. People from Colombia, one of my homegirls right now out here from Cartagena, she's out here visiting. I've had like 3 or 4 chicks from Cartagena come link up with me. I got chicks in Bogota, I think in 2 weeks. I'm sweating. In Bogota, like in 2 weeks, I got one of my Bogota chicks coming to link up with me. They all want to visit DR. DR is one of the coolest places in Latin America for a lot of countries. Ask anybody in Cartagena, ask anybody in Medellin. They know DR got a lot of like what they'll say is like they got a lot of sazon. They got a lot of like autobon. It get a lot of it hold a lot of weight, so they want to come visit. And when you live out here, guess what? They ain't gotta pay for no hotels. So it's like, yo, go ahead, take care of the flight. You good when you get here. I got a 2 bedroom. You don't want to come, you know what I'm saying, crash with the boy. It's cool. We ain't going to take it personal. Go hit the other bedroom. You know what I'm saying? So all good. But that's one of the best perks. It's like living out here. My boy should be coming out here. I ain't gonna lie, my boy should be coming out here. I've been holding up one of my links though, cause I got a problem with one of my boys. I ran off on a plug with some of his bread. Y'all know Cuzzo from my video. Cuzzo, I'm gonna give you your bread, man. I'm gonna give you your bread. We got a misunderstanding. We gotta work out. You know you owe me some money, brother. Cuzzo owe me some money. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta take that up off the stream. Yeah, I get my money back from you, brother. But yeah, Cuzzo done ran off of my money. But anyway, yeah, it's a great place to come. I got the extra bedroom, so it's easy. I would recommend if you move out here, try to get a 2 bedroom. If not just for like, if not just for the convenience of having it for people to come visit, they also, it's good for having that extra space. Who else we got here? We got Mike Lowry. Mike Lowry, the MVP of the chat right now. Mike Lowry in Perception throwing up threes from half court. I'm surprised. Where my homie Travel Techie at, man? I'm missing some heads. I'm missing some faces. Some of the dream team is missing. We got my homie Bricks in here, MK in here. Show Enough dipped out. Prom. I'm missing some of the dream team. Mike Larry said, I'm having a hard time choosing between Barranquilla and Santo Domingo for long-term living. What's your pros and cons of the two? Great question, Mike Larry. Another MVP question. So I would say Barranquilla, hidden gem, slept on. Barranquilla, I told you guys a while ago, I was thinking about moving to Barranquilla, buying property out there. Thank goodness I didn't because now the situation is dire with the president. Barranquilla, the problem is we're gonna have to keep a close eye out on immigration policies going forward. We're gonna have to keep a close eye out on immigration policies going forward in Colombia. We now have the right wing administration intact out there. That's one of their biggest campaign promotions is they're about to clean up Colombia. They're about to clean up Medellin, Cartagena, and all that. What does that mean is the ambiguous part. We don't know what it means. Does that mean a visa is coming soon? A formal visa like Brazil put in place is coming soon? We don't know. So you got to be careful with that, thinking long term because things could get crazy. Secondly, Barranquilla depends on the personality. If you're a person that don't need constant stimulation, you're a person that wants something more regular, and I definitely get like I can tell you've been doing your research, Mike Larry, because you get kind of the same idea that I get when I said about the reality point. The reality, Barranquilla is a place that you get a little bit more reality. It's a nice pace, and you always got Cartagena 2 hours away if you want to get more active. Now Barranquilla, the down part is it's not so developed. It's slower if you're not into that. The pros is that it's more affordable. Um, you still get the same beautiful woman, and that's gonna be your main two for Barranquilla. The price, and you still get beautiful women. You still got access to beaches. That's 3, and things like that. The cons, it can be a little slow. Um, you may wanna go out there a couple times, start mixing and mingling with the locals. It may be a bit hard to get your footing, finding friends out there because again, it's not as many tourists, it's not as many people out there trying to link up with tourists, so it might be a little harder. That's it. Santo Domingo, you got the affordability. You got if you live in the U.S., you got the proximity. I think Tia pointed out, it's close, it's not far away. The family could pull up on you. You got that aspect of it. Beautiful woman, beautiful dating culture, mixed of reality. The cars of Santo Domingo, again, it's a little slower pace. If you into like, those places where like Rio Cartagena, where you just go outside and any girl you talk to is just gonna give you her number. You could smile at a girl and you could just smile at a girl, hand her your phone and she put her number in. It's not happening. I'll be honest. It's not happening like that out in Santo Domingo. You're gonna have to talk a little bit. You ain't just walking up to no girl like this, smiling, and she just going, cheesing like a goofy, and she gonna put her number on your phone. That's not happening. You gonna have to say something. You could come up with the translator. You could walk up with the translator. It's good. They not tripping out here. Don't get me wrong. It ain't like they just knocking everybody down. They not tripping out here, but it's gonna take some type of effort. You ain't gonna be able to just. Oh, yeah. In the same breath, it's also good though because you might be the only tourist that she talked to in the last 3 months. You might be the only tourist that girl didn't talk to. You might be the only one that walked up to her, and now you got that advantage of like you stick out a little bit more than other guys who talk to her because you the only guy she don't talk to that didn't even speak Spanish. That's another thing, guys. Like you got to be able to use everything to your advantage. Sometimes it's nice to know, like, okay, it's just something different. Dude coming up to me with the with the swag, with the confidence. You know what I'm saying? And he had the cojones to pull up to me with the phone out with the translator. Okay, they might start smiling, they might start feeling the vibe because they ain't have that. And they may be a little intrigued, like, all right, let me talk to him. A lot of girls, I'm telling you guys, I've talked to girls out here, a lot of them have never talked to Americans. Especially like Americans, like maybe like straight white Americans or black Americans or like they've talked to Dominican Americans. So a lot of times when you come up to them, they're a little flattered, bro. They're a little taken aback, like, oh wow, okay. It's a different type of experience for them. They ain't never had to type in a joint on a translator. So that's the pro that you stick out a little bit more, and it's something different. Out the two, I pick Santo Domingo. I think Santo Domingo wins every time because, like I said, they're very close. They're closer than most people think, honestly. But Santo Domingo is just a little more faster pace. It has a little more uptick in pace. When I was in Barranquilla, they had like I went to Barranquilla during Carnival in Barranquilla. Even then, bro, some of the clubs weren't like rocking, like packed. And this is the biggest event in the week, biggest event in the week. I mean, in the year, and it still wasn't like rocking to the point that Santo Domingo is rocking on a regular weekend. So yeah, Michael Larry, I hope that answered, Joe. Nego Store says I legit saved up so I can go travel the world 2 years straight. Would you go to Japan first? I'm thinking it's November. Nico, first and foremost, congratulations, bro. That's fire. That's fire that you saved up to be able to travel for 2 years straight. A lot of people aren't able to do that, so definitely take advantage of that, and go out there with the mentality of like, keep everything open minded. Try to experience as much as you can. Um, Japan, I never been to Japan, bro. My boy Nate the Great, went to Japan, and I heard good things about Japan. For me, if I would set up a Asian itinerary, this is exactly how I would do it. I'm going to like, because how it is, I'm gonna go from, what is it, west to east. I'm gonna go from like, is it west to east? I think it's west to east. I'm gonna basically start off on this side of the joint and go over. So I'm gonna probably start in like, I would start in probably a Bangkok, Thailand. I'll go to Bangkok, Thailand first. Then, for me personally, I would skip Pattaya. I'm skipping Pattaya and I'm going to Da Nang in Vietnam. I'm gonna go to Bangkok, Da Nang, because I don't see the real difference in going to Pattaya or Bangkok. If you already, I mean, Pattaya or Da Nang, they both beach cities. They both gonna give you a certain type of vibe. Now, if you into everything that's being promoted in Pattaya, go to Pattaya. If you into that, you want to see like the lifestyle out there, go to Pattaya. That's not my thing. So I'm going from Bangkok, then I'm going to Da Nang, Vietnam. Then from Da Nang, Vietnam, I'm going to Hong Kong. I'm going to Hong Kong. Hong Kong, you don't need a visa as an American. It's you get all of the Chinese kind of culture without having to be, having to go through the whole visa process. And then after that, I'll probably look into like Japan or whatever, and then take it from there. Ego said DR might be second, then DR might be second, then DR women love us. Yeah, no. DR is because of that proximity, we already got a lot of clout out here. We already got a lot of clout out here. MK says familiarity, closeness. My damn chat to USA, and you can afford it for now. Yeah, that's a big advantage of Santo Domingo. Mike Lowry. Yes, sir. I understood exactly where you were coming from, bro. A lot of people not gonna make that connection between the two, but I definitely see why those two would be on your top. They're way more similar than a lot of people think. My boy Briss said it seems to be easier to get permanent residency in DR than Colombia. Briss, funny enough, like I said, I linked a subscriber yesterday, and he got residency. He got residency out here. He said it was hard. He said it was a challenge. I thought the exact same thing. My mind was blown when he told me that. And not to dox him, not to put too much of his info, but he's married. He's married, and he said he had a hard time getting residency out here. So I don't know. I know that the process. I talked about this in one of my videos. I know that the like being able to do stuff, the processes out here are a little difficult. They make it a little difficult. Like they just make up requirements on the spot. They ask for stamps and translations and all of that stuff. So, which is kind of common in the process, but I heard it's a little harder than most people think. Now, Colombia, I think now what you're going to be dealing with is, damn, should I move? Hold on, let me move, y'all. Nah, I don't like this. I don't like the lighting out there. I'm just gonna move my seat. It's like around this time the sun get crazy. All right, now Colombia, the problem is that now because they're having so much problems with the immigration, stopping people, the reputation, all of that stuff. The problem now with Colombia is that they want to try to limit the amount of Americans applying for residency. So it's not even a process thing. It's more of a like kind of a cleanup thing. Like I said, it's more like almost a immigration adjustment specifically towards Americans. So that's going to be a problem with that. Brist MK says Santo Domingo all day, every day. Santo Domingo, you know that. Shout out to Sai. Mike Lowry said, appreciate the analysis, superb response. Keep up the great work and content. You already know, Mike Lowry. I'm here for the people. This is what I do. Anybody on the chat, you guys know. Chat come first. MK said, no offense, but me being half Colombian, you are hyping up places where Colombians don't really want to be at. Like saying Tampa is the best in the US, ignoring better places. Tampa. I like Tampa, MK, to be honest, but I think it's all a preference. I think it's all a preference thing. Like, I wouldn't recommend anybody go to Tampa unless they are okay with a slower lifestyle. I would never say Tampa is like the best place in Florida. I would say Tampa is just a hidden gem. I can't say it's the best, but I would say it's a hidden gem. I can't say it's bad either. Because MK, you gotta realize a lot of people want to come to Florida, but it's a little hard because everybody only talks about South Florida. So they think it's not other options. Some people don't want the South Florida lifestyle. So I feel like Tampa is a nice mix because Orlando has a beach, but it's a little far. Tampa, you get like probably some of the best beaches in the US, and you're not that far from Orlando, so you're close to all the amusement parks, Disney World, SeaWorld, all that stuff. And you're like a 3-4 hour drive from Miami if you want more of an action packed weekend. So that's the only reason why I would say Tampa is like, somewhere that I think is pretty cool. MK said not being an asshole, just saying perceptions are different when you have lived it and know the culture. Respect MK. Respect MK. I definitely agree with that. The bureaucracy, Brink said the bureaucracy here is crazy for sure. Now it is MK. I mean, it is Brinks. It's like I hear it's like that in a lot of countries though. But I think a lot of it comes down to like in the U.S. we used to like kind of a straight process, and sometimes I think it's a bit of a disconnect from systems having to catch up with each other. But I'm not sure if it's like a training thing or like just a cultural thing where it's like, all right, like we gonna take this case by case, or I'm gonna just like they give people here so much discretion. Like I think I told you I got the story about I went to sign up, I think for the gym or for my Claro, and my passport is cooked, cooked. Y'all gotta tell me, yo, has anybody had the problem with the ink coming off your passport? The ink is like gone from my passport, bro. The ink is like just gone. So when I give people my passport, and some of them aren't used to seeing like maybe a passport at all. I don't know, but they ain't used to seeing like my American passport. But they always used to seeing like the USA on front. So when they don't see the USA or it's like really like kind of faded, they try to tell me my passport was fake, bro. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, yo, you can see everything is here. Then I pulled up like, because basically if you go online, it says like, you know, like ink, normal wear and tear like that is still acceptable. And I travel with it. I still travel with it, but they wasn't having it. They wanted a new passport. MK says, "Bring a tourist. You're gonna generally being a tourist. You're gonna generally be in the best places, which can make you misunderstand culture. I've done it going to Thailand. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. That was kind of my that was kind of my point with the how you call it. That was kind of my point with the showing the map of Rio, showing the map of Cartagena. These tour a lot of now that I think of it, a lot of like YouTubers I see who give advice. I've never seen them outside of the tourist area. I see them like they're in Cartagena, they're in Playa Hollywood. I see them in Rio, they're in Copacabana. I've never seen them go beyond the tourist area, but they give advice on the entire city as if these places that are either being frequently uh, frequented by a certain type of national person, like they may be being frequented by specific people who go to that place just because they know it's tourists there, or they may just be people who like more of a tourist vibe. So you may be getting a misunderstanding, like MK said. You definitely could be getting a misunderstanding of the culture doing that, bro. You could be getting a misunderstanding of the culture, but a lot of it do come down to like having to figure out or having to like kind of get a better understanding of what's going on. But my question to you, MK, is like, what's the best way to do that? What's the best way for people to get ingrained in the culture, especially if they don't know the language? Like I brought up the David Ortiz interview, but a lot of people don't have the patience to really watch a whole interview in another language if they don't speak it. All right, guys, what time is it? 2:40. I'm gonna rock out to 3 o'clock. Or rock out to 3 o'clock. Hit that like button. Let me know what y'all. Let me know if y'all got any other questions. But let's circle back to the topic. Let's circle back to the topic. Dating a girl. Why your relationship keep failing and restarting. I wanna circle back to the point I made earlier for some people who may not have been here. When I talk about this relationship as far as like, investing in women and having to be okay with being a provider and stepping into that traditional role, this is specifically this is specifically for people who want to date seriously. If you do not want to date seriously, you got to get in your mind that you cannot have your cake and eat it too. If you want to date and have a lot of options, constantly jumping from girl to girl, and a chick is asking you for serious commitment, you got to be okay with walking away. You got to be okay with walking away. And once you get into that point where you realize, like, yo, I just want to kind of be, casual, be in a casual relationship, then that's cool. You also can't run to the internet or like, you know, spread the false propaganda that all women in foreign countries are begging. That's not facts. That's how you look at it as begging, but for them, asking for help is not begging. You know what I'm saying? Begging is the person on the street on the corner with a with a cup out asking a stranger for money. She know you. She know you. Y'all been rocking. Now, I mean, if you met her on Tinder and she just asked for money straight up on Tinder, yeah, she begging. But if she's been in your life for a couple weeks or a month, couple months, it's just kind of like that point. She feel like We got to see where this is going. See what box she could put you in. At the same time, long term, you got to be okay with spending the bread. You got to be okay with sending the money out. Certain things, you know, that are asked for, you got to be open minded with it. Now, I'm not saying go ahead and pay a chick rent. Don't pay a chick rent. I don't think you should be out here paying chicks rent. You know, probably until things get really, really serious. Unless they rent is like $200. If they rent is $200, pay the $200 rent. If they got some serious rent and they talking about they backed up, don't pay the rent. But if it's a light bill, if it's something easy, even if it's like just something silly, the nails hair done. Oh, you need, yeah, take this, take that, just so you can show them. And I think eventually, what should be happening in most cases is if it's serious and you rocking out with them for months, it should be a point where y'all starting to integrate lives anyway. It shouldn't be this point. And I think a lot of people have that problem, right? And I've had that problem where like you're living in another country, right? And that's the problem because now you're getting it's like double taxation. It's like I'm paying my domestic bills, I'm paying my bills at home, and I gotta fund somebody else's bills. It becomes a bit easier when you get to the country and maybe you start living with the person, especially if y'all living together. That's even whoop de do because you got to pay your rent regardless. That's what I never understood about the whole like 50-50 rent. If you in America, I get it. Your rent may be outrageous. You may need some help with the rent. Me personally, I don't really believe in the 50-50 rent because I got to live here regardless. So again, I only become an asset. Men, we got to start putting ourselves in position to become assets, bro. You cannot get thrown away so easily. Men be talking about, oh, yo, girls just throw me away like I'm nothing. It's because you're not putting yourself in a position to be an asset, bro. You are not putting yourself in a good position in these women's lives where if they leave you, they lose something. Because if the, I got a funny story for y'all. I was rocking heavy with a chick out here, rocking heavy, bro. I liked her. I ain't gonna lie, I liked the chick. I liked her. We kept getting to this, like I said, chicken before the egg or egg before the chicken. Who is the one who gotta make the commitment first? Kept getting to that. I'm like, yo, I like the chick, but I can't make that investment. Chick straight told me something that resonated. She said, only thing I get from you is huevo and bebida. If guys who you don't know, I don't think she said huevo. I think she said la yima or beach. She didn't say bicho because that's like Puerto Rican. But you guys know, basically in America, in English, without saying something that may get the chat, the YouTube messed up. She said all she get from me is eggplant and drinks. I said, holy. But I said, she right. And I feel like American culture, at least hip hop culture. Let me not generalize. Hip hop culture, we've been taught to think that's cool. We've been taught to think that's cool, right? You got Joel Santana. He said the only thing a chick can get from me is hard eggplant and bubble gum. I used to say that line. That used to be my line. The only thing a chick could get from me is heart and bubble gum. But that's when I was a child. And it comes a time you gotta evolve from a boy to a man. And also we talking about Joel's like 20 years old, talking about people early 20s. If you're in your early 20s, trust me, enjoy yourself. This is not for y'all. Early 20s, I ain't telling y'all to be taking care of no chick. This is for, dudes who it's just for dudes who want something a little bit more mature, a mature lifestyle. When a chick tell you the only thing you give her when she's with you, is la yema and bubble and and la bebida, that hit a little different, bro. As a man, the only thing you should get giving a chick is drinks and eggplant. You gotta kind of look yourself in the mirror. You gotta look at yourself in the mirror, bro. It's cool when you're young, but I think when you older, like it's like dang, like chick chick got a nail business. You know what I'm saying? She out here dolo paying her own rent. She got this. And the only time I see this girl, I'm just I'm just splashing and giving her Johnny Walker. That's trash. That's trash. You're not a man. I can see. I had to respect it. I'm like, dang, you right, man. That's kind of corny. But let me see. MK is MK is the MVP of the chat right now. We got paid in here. Check in, tuning in now. Got to catch the replay. Yes, sir. Paid. We covered a lot of ground today, but definitely catch the replay. Briss said, super informative live stream. Appreciate you, Briss. Thanks for showing up, my boy. MK said, in Dominican Republic, it's all about friends and families getting through things easier. That's a great point. Let's hop on that point for a little bit. That is a great point, MK. So, another example, my real situation. My real situation. I lost another. I'm telling y'all things because I ain't telling y'all because I'm saying I'm telling you these things because I know them. I ain't telling them because I think them. I'm telling you because I know them. I've lost very good potential relationships. And at the end of the day, if I don't find nobody, if y'all see the boy alone, it was my fault. Because I wasn't a man that did manly things. Another situation, my real chick, the one I showed y'all in the north of Brazil, north of Rio, her family started applying pressure to her. Family started applying pressure. Again, this is why I say Brazil is very, like, you got to get into with the culture. The family, if the family see you with a boyfriend, right? Sometimes it's not even the girl. If the family see that you have a boyfriend, like I said, in a lot of these countries, it's still very traditional and old school. A woman may live with her family until she gets picking up, which is basically means she'll live with her family until a guy pretty much becomes serious with her and take her out her family's apartment or house. So she'll be with the guy, and then once they serious, the girl will come live with them. They may never move alone. They may never move alone by themselves. They may only move out when a guy picks them up. So I'm with this girl. We rocking heavy for like a year or whatever. The mom started applying pressure to her. So now she's telling me like, my mom is asking me, MK, like you said, she said not only my mom, she's like my family and my friends are asking me, when are we gonna become serious? Like, when are we gonna take things to the next level? Because I'm still living under my mom's roof. And typically, I would form a family. I would move with my boyfriend. I would, start a family, and we would live together. And I'm in Joe Smo, Florida, living my own life, doing my own thing, traveling around the world, and the girl looked goofy. The girl looked goofy to her family, honestly. You gotta keep this in mind, bro. The girl looked like a goofball. I'm traveling the world, I'm spending money, I'm doing everything, and then I ain't paying for no rent. I ain't helping with no. And she never asked me either. She never asked me for stuff. It would just come to a point where the thing is, if she's not working, she becomes her family's responsibility. Her mom got to pay for everything. She got to keep taking care of her. And the natural evolution of a relationship and how things go and the culture is kind of disrupted when you have this new school kind of thinking where a younger Brazilian or a younger Dominican may really like a foreigner, may really be interested in him, but he lives abroad. So it's like that natural progression never happens to the point that they start getting pushback from the family. So yeah, she started applying major pressure on me. She's like, if you're not gonna come here, if you're not gonna take me serious, we can't do this. We can't do this. And it also comes to the point where like we always talk about, like we talked about earlier, like girls hitting the wall. Girls hit that wall, and sometimes we gotta take accountability as men. We just use up their youth. We use all the girls' youth, which is their power. That's their form of currency, y'all. A woman's youth and her prime is her biggest form of currency. And I'm here just occupying this space, knowing that I'm traveling to Colombia this week. I'm going to Ethiopia next week. I'm not even going to Latin America. My ass out in Angola. I'm out in Angola telling this girl that, we rocking heavy. So, long story short, man, they're gonna start getting pressure from their family and friends. So sometimes what they're saying, they're content with the situation, but they're kind of starting to get so much pressure. It's like, maybe I am being stupid. Maybe I am being a dummy sitting here waiting for this guy. And when I'm with him, all I get is, as she infamously said, eggplant and drinks. MK also said, makes friends with ordinary area middle class. They will open doors for everything. That's a very good point. Networking is key, y'all. Networking is the underrated experience and the underrated gem here. La Matue, I think it's Matue, said you in a relationship out there. How's experience? I'm not in a relationship, bro. I'm not in a relationship. I was rocking heavy with a chick, but as as Aventura says, mi niña cambió. Mi niña cambió. That means my baby girl has changed, or my girl has changed. She changed up on me, y'all. I'm heartbroken. She said I don't give her enough support, financial support. She changed up on me. So yeah, I was kind of rocking with somebody, but I wasn't in a formal relationship. I wasn't in a formal relationship. The experience is great, honestly. The experience is great. Um, the average Dominican, I won't generalize, but from my experience, cook, clean. It's like another thing about Brazil. I don't know about y'all. Y'all let me know anybody who been to Rio. The chicks don't like to do a lot of domestic work out there, especially the ones you meet in the tourist area. I remember when I first went out there, I just thought like it was gonna be like DR, like Colombia. I went out there asking chicks to cook, man, like a goofy. I'm like, yo, just hang out, just come over, hang out. How mama hang out? We can cook. They said, cook what? Here, you come here, you know. Now it's a little different. When I first started coming here, your first date could be like, come over and cook. Now some girls ain't coming to your house no more first date. But after the first date, after she comfortable, she'll cook, she'll clean your house, like without action. Ask you if you need something. Like chick that was in the live stream who cooked, she brought me some tea because my what happened? I had like my throat was hurting from the lives. I was doing so many lives, not lives, from the videos. I was doing so many videos. I was losing my voice. She brought me like a whole packet of tea. Just very feminine energy. Like take care of your energy. If you give out the right energy, honestly. If not, you're gonna be on a free trial. They're gonna give your ass a 30-day trial period. You don't do something, or you looking like you don't want to spend no money to help. Your ass is grass. Uncle Ruckus back in the game. Uncle Ruckus was on a bench. Now he ready to drop 20 piece. Uncle Ruckus said, "I love women. I love women getting involved to keep an eye on her. I love women family getting involved to keep an eye on her." That's a good point, Uncle Ruckus. You got to get in with the family. You have to get in with the family, bro. The family will keep you in tune, and they will go to bat for you too. They're gonna hold her responsible. How you going out every day when you know you got a man? They will be on your side. You got to get in good with them though. Briss, Briss is back. Briss has Briss says, "How long were you two together before she asked you that?" Which one? Which one? Oh, my real girl. I give you a breakdown of each one. The most recent girl, I've been with her on and off for I would say a year and a half, 2 years, on and off, on and off. I've helped her before. I've helped her before. We had like a falling out, regular stuff, falling out. We didn't talk for like 6 months. We only reconnected when I came back. We ain't talk for a long time. I actually think I unblocked the ass to be honest. But we ain't talk for a long time. Then we got back together. So like a year and a half on and off. Before the first time she asked me for something, she did the move that I told y'all that girls do when they like you, but they don't want to ask you for money. She would just bring up the problem. She would not ask me for money. She'd just be like, we talking. She'll ask me how was my day. We'll talk. And then I ask her, she's like, oh, everything is good. I'm just trying to figure this out. I'm going to see these houses. She had a situation with her house and stuff. She had to move apartments. So, she's like, I'm going to see this house, da da da. This was like 3 to 4 months in. 3 to 4 months in. She started having apartment problems. She never asked for money before. She never showed no bad signs. She never showed any signs of anything. First time that money was even mentioned was when she had a legit problem with her place she was staying. That's how you can know. If you meet a girl and somehow you make it to 3 months and she hasn't asked you for anything, she probably like you, bro. She probably don't want to come off a certain way. Now, she finally asked for help around 3 to 4 months. I say, yo, why didn't you ask me before? She said, I didn't want to, like, basically, I didn't want to scare you away, or I didn't want you to think that I was una daughter, which is like in DR is like a person just interested in you for money. So that's that. My real girl, I was with her for like 2 years, maybe even 3 years now, and she just like asked for money this year. This year was the first time. 2 years after. So that's those two. MK. MK said, I believe when you're older, that sounds correct, but younger, not at all. Yeah, that's why I had to make the distinction, MK. If I got any young dudes in the chat and you just out here doing your thing, do your thing, partner. Do your thing. Don't worry about it. You're on. You're young. You're living life. Don't got to be worrying about this. This is for people who want a serious relationship. Guys who come and say things like, "I can't find a wife abroad. I can't wait to find a wife abroad." They always begging. They always asking for something. They always asking for this. You got to be able to sort the things out. You got to realize, what girls are good picks to invest in, what girls are not good picks to invest in. That is the truth. Prom, my boy Prom said it's always boys down. My boy Prom is back off the bench. My boy Prom is locked in the game. He moving like Mikael Bridges, putting up 20, going to the bench and coming back. He said it always boils down to finances. It's all good. It always does boil down to finances. That's inevitable. That is a great point. That's inevitable. If you're trying to date internationally to pay less or to not pay anything, you a fool. You a fool. You're never going. I said it earlier. Very few places in this world you're going to be able to go and date and not have to pay some type of price. That's just a fact. Very few places. You could go to a poor country, a rich country. Go to America. America's a perfect example. Them girls out there, some girls, 50,000, 60,000, 70,000 in a savings account, bro, and they still in your face. They still want you to be a provider. So it's very few places you're gonna go to and find a woman who don't have that mentality of you helping financially. What else? Who else we got? Where my boy Perception? Perception got an injury. Perception moving like Anthony Davis. Where you at, Perception? John said, like Zoe said, you buying or you paying? You gonna lock her up or is she on a layaway? Uh, I don't know. I don't know about that point. I don't know about layaway. 99%. John said 99% of desirable women are gonna eventually need your help. The only choice is what you're willing to give. A part of the culture is helping out, bro, regardless if she asks you or not initially. Yes, sir. John, I agree with that, bro. 99% of desirable women are gonna eventually need help. I would go a step further and say not even need help. They're gonna ask for help. Because like I said, American women, some of them don't even need the money. Some of them got way more money. Again, it's a common thread in this argument that no matter what, I guess we could call it female nature, I guess we could call it whatever. I guess if we could go back to the again beginning of the time, right? A lot of women mentality is a almost like, I don't want to sound too misogynistic or machismo, but it's almost like a conservative. Like I need to preserve as much, right? Because if you think about it, right? Back in the day, a lot of women didn't have. They needed men for protection. They needed men for financial help. So anything that was theirs, they wanted to keep it because they always was in a scarcity mindset because they might lose it. They had to think like, yo, if my husband died, if somebody killed my husband, right? If we talking about caveman times, if my husband go out hunting and a motherfucker lion eat his ass or a saber wolf eat his ass, guess what? I don't got no husband no more. That means I'm gonna have to get a new husband and figure it out. But in the time, I need to conserve as much and reserve as much as of my stuff and use as much as what he's bringing to survive. So it's kind of I think it's a survival instinct that's already embedded because we all come with a pre-downloaded software. Nobody born on this earth come with like a clean slate. Like that's a whole different argument. Then we go into biology and we go into like animal stuff. Like an animal, before they even know how to freaking walk, they're gonna run away from certain other animals because it's downloaded in their mind. A duck gonna run away from a crocodile before he know what a crocodile is because it's downloaded in his mind that's danger. Pre-downloaded information, DNA. But to keep the argument simple, what I'm saying is throughout history, we're in the first phase of history where a woman is actually this hyper independent, that she can actually have this amount of money, have this amount of constant income, and not necessarily need to be a hoarder or not necessarily need to operate in a scarcity mindset. But the problem is, it's already pre-downloaded that save all of mine. for hard times. Save all of mine for hard time and use other people's money because that's my survival instinct. So it don't even matter if they got their own. They're gonna still try to use somebody else's money. Let's get back to the chat. Crooked, my boy, what's going on? Crooked said, if you date abroad just because the strength of currency difference, eventually you will have to help her to keep her. Yes, there we go. Crooked with the layup, with the alley oop layup. Crooked, good point. If you are dating, and that goes back to what I said, if you are one of those dudes who want to cash in on geographic arbitrage, there's a price to pay for that. There's a price to pay for that. I think that a lot of Americans forget that the people abroad are not stupid. You are going to the other country because you know your dollar is worth more. The people in the other country know that you here can do more because your dollar is worth more. It's not like they under a rock and you just the almighty enlightened person. They also know that you probably make more money and good money, and it doesn't make any sense to them that they here struggling, uh, and you come in here playing around basically. You with Sally, Monisha, uh, uh, Denisha, you with everybody in the country, bro. We going to Latin America. You out here with Maria. You out here with everybody. And she turn around and you ain't trying to do nothing? Come on, brother. Come on. You better than that. John said, I had women making six figures in America that wanted help. It's the same thing overseas. Women are that same worldwide. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. John with a last minute still. About to come to court like Jordan on the Jazz, 96. Last minute still. John, that's a fact. Women are the same worldwide. And once you get your head in that type of atmosphere where it's like stop dating to try to spend as little as possible and start dating to get the best return on your investment, then you're gonna realize the benefits. If you are dating to just I don't want to be giving money, women no money. I'll do that in America. Why they asking me for money? You're doomed, bro. You're doomed. You are doomed to either, like I said, constantly be in the loop of constantly having to start over with women who are gonna still force you to prove your worth eventually. May not be the first month, may not be month 3, may not be month, may not be year 2. May take a minute, but she's still gonna put you in that space of having to prove yourself. Eventually, you're not gonna have a long-term relationship 2-3 years in where, oh yeah, she just doing everything on her side, I'm doing everything on my side. No, no, because that's what we dealing with in America, right? And that's why nobody's together. That's why the relationships ain't working. Because it's just two people. It's a relationship, but what it really is, it's just two people cohabitating. Like never really coming together. Who else? MK. Let me see. MK back. Money is good, but if that's the only thing, you're setting yourself up for failure every time. Especially if you find a decent female for something fit, something formal. The truth. MK, you gotta expand on that. Money is good, but if that's the only thing, you're setting yourself up for failure every time. I want you to elaborate, MK, so we can give the people a good explanation of that. Prom back. Prom says when when a woman starts cleaning your crib without asking, that's a good sign. I have women that will wake up 2 a.m. to make me soup and wash my clothes, and they are good ones. Prom clutch. Prom fourth quarter under 3 minutes. Jalen Brunson crossing up Wimby. That is a fact. I'll take it a step further, Prom. When you get a woman, right? So y'all guys seen I had chick come over, cooked up that good. What she made? Did she make mango? She cooked up that good mango. The rest golpe. The rest golpe. Good mango. After I didn't have to ask her to clean nothing. I didn't have to ask her to make a plate. I didn't have to ask her for anything after, if you know what I mean. No request was made. Everything was understood. Everything was understood. I don't gotta scooch over on the couch. I don't gotta scooch. Hey baby, how you feeling tonight? I don't gotta do none of that. Everything is understood because we working in a traditional system where what needs to be offered, or everybody knows what everybody everybody wants. Basically, everybody know what everybody wants. Everybody knows that I could fulfill this void and bring value to the relationship. So she knows her value, or a lot of her value could come from the things she could give me. Somebody said it earlier. May not be financial. Cooking me food, cleaning up the dishes, talking to me, you know what I'm saying, helping with learning the language. A lot of people like undervalue that. I think a lot of stuff women give men undervalue. You know, a chick just sitting there and putting up with your bad Spanish and having to correct you and taking the time to correct you and still being like soft about it, not laughing at you or making you feel silly. That's an advantage, bro. That's something that's being offered. So sitting there, you know, giving me all these little things, end of the night, happy ending, a good night, without having to do all of that stupid stuff you got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? In other places with other chicks, you know, after you done gave all this and invested all of this, at the end of the night, you still, hey, what you about to do? Oh, think about going to the house and watching some movies with you. You want to come? These countries, I've been to places. We go on a date. Everything is great. If the vibe is good, I don't gotta ask that. It's just like, all right, like, all right, I'm about to go home. Okay, I'm coming. Like, it's just a higher return on your investment when you got somebody in your life that you know is bringing that stuff to the table. They also expected stuff, and they also expected not to ask for it sometimes. So sometimes we get into the whole the girl is asking you for the stuff because you just not offering it, which so you making a situation even more uncomfortable and awkward for the both of y'all because you just not offering it. So like I said, it's a lot of times where a chick will come over. Only thing she asks you is what you want to eat. What you want to eat and what time you want me to be there. She not making you do all of this silly stuff, bro. She not make forcing you to ask her to cook for her. She not forcing you to ask her to clean up. She not forcing you to ask her, you know, to do anything at the end of the night. She's doing all of that because she knows her role. She knows exactly what she's supposed to be doing. The sun is getting to me, y'all, but I'm trying to survive. But she's doing all of that because she knows her role in the relationship. Vice versa is completely when it comes to you, you acting like dumb and dumber. What you need? You need something? Why do you need that? I don't get it. Nah, man, you know what that girl need, man. Help her out with a bill. MK back. MK said, rule number one, see family dynamics. See if family members are married long term. How many baby daddies will show you situation you walking into? MK, good point. Seeing family dynamics is important. I've definitely been able to peep out like some I would say bad traits in the family dynamic. Like the real situation, like I told y'all, the real chick. One of the reasons why I was hesitant to lock in is because I talked to her mom. Her mom had that mentality. Her mom had that mentality of like applying pressure. She applied the pressure to me when I went to the crib. I don't want nobody applying pressure like that. She full court pressed the boy, applying maximum pressure once I walk in the crib. Check in what you waiting on. I don't need that type of drama in my life. So I already know that's inherited. She's like short tempered, a very short temperament. Anybody like that, we're gonna have problems. 'Cause I don't take no disrespect and talk back like that, bro. So when I seen she had that temperament, I'm like, yeah, I see where the daughter get that from. The daughter also had a very short temper. So you got to look at those family dynamics and make sure that they align. John Davis is back. John Davis with the professional name. John Davis. I hope that's not your government name, boy. You gotta we moving in silence. I gotta change that up. I'm gonna just say John. I'm gonna just say John John. John said when I said buying or paying, I mean as you get older. Okay, get older, especially either going to purchase, aka marry her, or you're going to compensate her for her time, aka paying like the date exchange money. When I said buying or paying, I mean as you get older. Buying or paying as you get older. Oh, I guess I get it. I guess I get it. I guess the thing that paid that threw me off was the layaway. I don't know about no layaway, bro. I think I think the whole analogy is a little. It's like kind of too objectively like it's based around too much like objects like layaway and purchasing and paying and all that. That type of language gets you that type of language gets you put in an indictment. Have you like my boy Dirt? That's like trafficking. We talking about paying and layaway. I dropped down to my knees with a little. Okay. He said layaway is the weekend warrior. Try to keep up a girl by setting her leg. Oh, okay, John. Okay. That makes sense. I ain't get that layaway in the buy it and the all that, bro. That get your boy caught up in a trafficking joint, bro. I'm not doing that on here. Be like your boy Smirky or free smirk. Prom said yes. Hold on, I think I skipped somebody. Oh no, that was John. Prom said yes, watching her family is important, especially when she got a mom that's gonna check her about cooking, cleaning, and bringing value. Look how Age talk about her father. I think it's look how they talk about their father. That is true. That is true, Prom. 100%. You got to scope out the family dynamics because you got to realize some of y'all or some of us, we've known a girl a year, 2 years. She's been under her parents' house. She's been under her parents' household or under their roof since her inception. So if she got a parent that has certain ways, you just gotta make sure or kind of peep if they have similar ways. And that's not to say that every kid is like their parent, because some kids, specifically when it comes to stuff like yelling, being controlling, um, or stuff like that, being jealous, they actually may be completely opposite because they didn't like seeing that in their mom. A lot of kids who grew up with parents that were like that yelled a lot don't like to yell. So, not to jump to conclusions, but use all of these as clues to kind of make a profile of the person that that you're dating. But it all comes down with time. Smash that like button, y'all. Smash that like button. I'm about to start another poll. Y'all rocking out with me. I'm about to just rock out. I'm about to just rock out. I'm about to start another poll. I'm about to start another poll. Uh, John said my wife learned her values and cooking from her grandma, not mom. That's very important. Grandma in her life is always a green flag. I repeat, a grandmother in their life is always a green flag. You know, whether it's like just the wisdom that they get from a grandmother, it's something about age that comes with so much wisdom, especially as a woman. I said it in one of my videos. I can't remember if it was alive, but I said like right now we're going through that transition period where technology has kind of got dated in a headlock, and the women of our generation, 20, 30 years, 40 years, when they 60, 70, 80, they will tell their kids, do not fall for the hype. Do not try to be this super independent person. I made a mistake. That's gonna hold gravity on the grandkids because then they're gonna understand that I maybe not need to go 150 miles per hour just to get a degree, just to have a job, just to basically live by myself, have cats and stuff like my grandma, because they got a true example of what happened when modern dating first popped off with the technology. They're gonna be like, yeah, I need to date a dude under 6 foot. I need to date a dude who a little chubby. I need to date a dude, you know what I'm saying, that may not may not be as smooth as I like. I need to date a nerd. I need to date whoever to be able to, you know, actually have a long term relationship. So the change is coming, and the change is gonna be. I don't want to say primarily led by the grandparents, but grandparents matter for that reason because you got a lot of grandparents out here asking or putting on more game like, sweetie, you ain't gonna get a dude 6'7". Sweetie, you ain't gonna get a dude making 200,000 dollars a year. Sweetie, you ain't gonna get this. Sweetie, you ain't gonna get that. And it's gonna hit harder in the future. Prime says stay away from. Hold on, did I skip somebody? John says she gotta have a womanly figure she looks up to, and you be the judge if her wiring fits your program. That's a good point, John. That is a fact. You definitely have to look at who her female role models is. And somebody mentioned it before. You gotta look who her male role models is. Yo, hit that like button. We rocking out. We rocking out. We rocking out. I'm not going nowhere. How they said in with that joint? Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not fucking leaving. I'm not going nowhere. We rocking out. John said, let's get back to John point. That was a valid point. Where he at? She gotta have a womanly figure she looks up to. Yeah. So not only the female figure gotta be on point, the male figure gotta be on point as well. You gotta see like what type of background she coming from, what type of influence she had, because a lot of females base their dating tendencies or their dating expectations on a male figure, whether it's a dad, whether it's an uncle. You know what I'm saying? If she don't have a male figure in her life or her dad left because he was a cheater, she may have a tinted view on guys in general cheating. Just a fact. You gotta ask these type of questions. Prom says stay away from a woman who compare her lifestyle or life to yours. You will always lose. That's MVP comment. MVP comment. W in the chat for prom. That is a fire. Let me see. Can I pin that or something? Let me see what we got going on here. Let me see. I'm gonna pin that joint, prom. That is a goat comment there. Stay a woman from women compare her life to yours. You will always lose in that situation. It's a lot of women who look at your stuff and low key be envious. A lot of women are envious. I gotta move, guys. Where the hell can I go? Hey, I don't like this joint. I look a little crazy there. I dropped down to the knees a little, okay? Prom says stay away from women who basically compare their lifestyle to yours, bro. You got an envious woman on your hands sometimes. You have an envious woman, especially is can happen in the states, but it can happen abroad too. You know how many women I've had? Anytime you guys are with a woman, right? Dating abroad. Anytime she start referencing stuff that you got, it's clipper, 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 bro. She all on your Instagram, just she pinning, she saving certain posts you make. She sending you them joints later. She bringing up stuff. Oh, you went to a steak dinner last night. Okay, but you told me you ain't have no money for my nails. Oh, you went out here. You was in you was in a club popping bottles, but you told me you ain't have no money. Any comment like that, she's done. Her mind is gone. Her mind is out of here. That is a different type of woman. That is not the type of woman I'm saying that, what I'm saying, need help. She need mental help. Cause now she getting in the compare game. She's starting to look at what you. She don't know how you like women like that. Is just that's a level of entitlement. Cause she don't even know what pain you put in. She don't know what pain you put in to get that money. As men, we got a job to do. Our job is to constantly be able to make money, provide and protect. That is our job. Once a woman cross over the boundaries, her job is not to be trying to understand how you make money and all that. Her job is to be emotional, mental support for that job, bro. Don't be trying to compare this and that and what I do with I work hard, bro. I work hard. So once you get out of that box of like just being a supporter and you know comparing this and that and wondering why you get so her mind is cooked, bro. Her mind is cooked. She's entering she's working outside of a feminine energy. She's working outside of a specific role, and then all of this stuff I said, because she's doing that, I don't even think it applies anymore. Because now we're not dealing with like an equilibrium or balance where you're bringing something, she bringing something. she's way too interested in what you're bringing to the table compared to what she has. And then she working certain girls just working in envy. Or why he got this? Why he got that? I want that. That's why she asks you for that stuff because she think what you got should be hers. I definitely talk to girls like that, bro. John just said that's why the grandmother was important. She had them old school values. That's a fact. She's bringing in that. She's bringing in that not only that wisdom, but she's bringing in years of experience, years of personal stories that she's been through. She she know like ain't no hundred like you're never gonna get 100% of anything you want. You may get 90%, you may get 80%, you may get 70%. But the women out here, a lot of women are operating on 100%. Like I want 100% of exactly what I want. I'm not taking no L's. I'm not taking no L's. And I think that's where you really get another advantage with the people who date abroad. They need to stop thinking so much about the money and realize like the woman a lot of times is like how to say it. If she's an attractive woman, a baddie as you say it, she could get a lot of guys. More than likely, she's settling in some case, making you her main objective. And not settling in the case that something is wrong with you. She's settling in the fact that whatever you bring into the table, she probably could find somebody else. So in her mind, like, dang, I like this dude, but the dude don't really want to help. Dude don't really want to bring anything, and you just become an ultimate liability. MK said aunts and grandmas once they on your side will say and tell you everything incorrect on the spot. As a fact, MK. Once you get the tias and the mamas on your side and they see you a good man, you only gonna get that. I'm telling you right now, you only gonna get that respect because a lot of men don't realize it's a respect thing. You can't be coming to the mother and the aunt and all that just demanding shit. Like they're gonna respect you as a man when they know that you're being a provider in the household. But once you put up that respect and they know you taking care of the daughter, I'm be honest, some of them don't even care if you cheating. Some of them don't even care if you cheating, bro. The only thing they care about is that taking care of the household, not beating on the not beating on the daughter, being a man, keeping everything structured in the house, and filling your role in the in that capacity. Some of them going straight tell them like if all your man is doing is cheating, you better be quiet and get with the program because they wise. They wise. And that's how a lot of these older couples lasted 30, 40 years married. You think these old couples, the man never cheated, bro? Come on now. These men been cheating. They've been cheating. It wasn't about the cheating. It was about the woman understanding that part of the equation shouldn't outweigh everything else that's going on. The dynamic is much more than him creeping out every now and then. But I'm telling you right now, nowadays you breathe too hard, the woman is gone. She's gone. John said for sure I hadn't. Oh, hold on. John said for. Damn, my chat tweaking. John said for sure I had an ex that she had some type of envy because I made more than her with less education. It happens a lot. It happens more than people think. It happens more than people think. Once you reach a level where you're seeing those type of signs, especially abroad, I think like especially abroad, because that's now you starting to lose some of the reason that this is a good ROI. Why some of the reason why this is a good like benefit and advantage of having a relationship like this. You starting to lose some of that feminine energy when you got women looking at you like that because now they just telling you what they interested in. You basically seeing the whole relationship from their eyes. They're not even keeping it a secret no more. It's certain little things that shouldn't be crossing your mind. And one of them is like, oh, how you got money for this but not for that. You don't know where I get this money from. We got a whole credit system in the US. I had to explain that one time to a female. I'm like, you know what credit is? Like, you know how credit works? It's like, yeah, but I'm like, no, like that means I can spend money that I don't necessarily have physically. So you saying that I got money that I don't got because you see me buy something, you don't know what I owe. I may have a $4,000 bill here. I may have a car note. A lot of things that don't exist, in these countries that we got to pay, or that may be more. Like for instance, insurance, car insurance could be $40 here, $50 here. In New York, car insurance, you lucky if you got $300 car insurance in New York. You lucky. You lucky. You're very lucky if you got like a $300 car insurance in New York City. I'm sure it's the same thing, but I think Cali car insurance is kind of crazy. Uh, I think Detroit got a high car insurance. Certain places, like car insurance is a real like it's your rent. It's the rent in some of these countries. They don't understand that though. MK said, I have found a woman from the country in DR has better family values, more fit, more tight knit family that will be allies instead of a hindrance, and her values are more wifey. Her values are more wifey. That's like that's the that's that's the deciding factor right there. That's the deciding factor right there. When you find a chick like that, right? When you find a chick that comes from a good family, she got values, and she bringing those wifey type of let's say traits to the table. I don't want to hear no more about the price and all of that. Once you get that, you're gonna have to do two things. You're gonna lose a good woman, or you're gonna fall into place. That's it. You got two options, two routes. You're gonna lose a good woman, or you're gonna fall into place. That's it. It's simple. And if you and the problem is a lot of these guys when they say like women are begging and they say women aren't like are asking for help and all of that, the truth is it's not really women that they see with wifey traits. It's women that they like, but it's not women that they really see with wifey traits. It's women that they like and they don't want to make the investment. They don't want to say that they don't want to make the investment. It's probably actually relationships that started off as, you know, personal kind of, uh, how do I say it? Uh, paid recreational activities that started off in that type of situation. And now when the chick asking them for money and all that, they just want to keep the friendship going. But then I messed around and fell in love with the girl, and now I'm mad that she asking for money. Hold on, y'all. I am back. MK, that's a good point. I'm gonna get to you. I'm gonna hit up the super chat first. We got Gene Suave with the super chat, $5. We appreciate it. United States have women who are MDDO pharmacists, lawyers, engineers, but men keep going broke women. Cooking pasta not real value, fellas. Wake up. The facts is out. Gene Suave with the facts. Oh man, that did it. That did it right there. We got women who are doctors, pharmacists, lawyers, engineers. Men keep going broke women. You know why? Let's break this down. Let's break this down. It's called low hanging fruit. And what I have realized is it doesn't stop there. That mindset crosses over internationally. What do I mean by that? That mindset crosses over internationally. A lot of times men, for instance, I'll travel, right? I'll go to Cartagena with my boys. Top top notch females there, top notch quality there. They still want the low quality women. They still want the low quality women. You know why? They want them because it's a mental thing. It's a mental thing, and it's a worthiness thing. A lot of men, again, it comes back to no matter what situation they in, no matter what country they in. At the end of the day, the only thing that follow you is you. So a lot of men are intimidated to go to these higher quality women, even if they know it's a paid situation. They're still intimidated to go to higher quality, prettier women because they don't feel worthy. They're afraid in America to go to women that make a lot of money, who got a bag, who are in these serious professions, because them themselves don't have the confidence to go do that. So they settle for the local chick that cook pasta. That's all in the videos. I done seen dudes talking about, oh yeah, chick coming over to cook for us on a live. She cooking goddamn Alfredo on the live. I dropped down to my knees on the low, okay? She cooking Alfredo on the live, bro. Take off the live. She's out of here. Take off the live. You got a chick out here cooking Alfredo, bro. Take off the live, bro. Take her off the live. What is she doing? That's low quality. At least make her make something traditional. Make her make something traditional. It don't gotta be a steak or something, but make her, you know what I'm saying? That's something you could have made yourself. But men tend to go towards the level that they feel like themselves are on. That's the truth. Men tend to go to the level that they feel like themselves are on. Why is that a problem? That's a problem because they take that experience, that personal experience that they have, that seems to be their tendency, that's their pattern. They take that pattern and they try to overlay it to everybody. They try to overlay that to everybody. They tell you that, oh yeah, she begging, she doing this, she doing that. She not bringing real, she only cooking pasta. That's the woman you going for. She don't want to be, she not wifey material. That's the woman you going for that's not wifey material. You going for the chick that's in Copacabana in Rio that don't only mess with foreigners for a specific reason. You going to that chick that's local that, you know, her rent $200. She don't got the money to do it. Try bossing up your options. That's a great point. I actually forgot that point. Try bossing up your options. Boss up your options. You still gonna get asked for some money, but boss up some your options, and then you might even get a better return on your investment. A better return on your investment. Because then not only are you getting the support, you know, with the things like cooking, cleaning, and all that she brings to the table. And this is abroad, because in America, if she a doctor, you ain't getting none of that. You got to deal with a whole different set of problems. But abroad, if you with a chick that's well off, come from a well off family, a little better quality, you know what I'm saying? You get a return on investment on that. And a lot of them aren't tight with the pockets themselves. So they may have certain expectations in the household. You may be taking care of certain bills. You may be helping with this, that, and the third. But if she got a little bag of her own, come from a nice family, like I said, come from, or I think MK said it, come from a family that, they had different type of father figure, mother figure in the household, or woman and male figure in the household. They probably seen, like, over the years, it's important to also try to spoil your man, try to give your man something every now and then. Now you getting little nice gestures done for you. If you've been with a chick, if you've been with a chick for years and she never got you nothing, like not a card or anything, that ain't it. That ain't it. And actually, y'all guys just got my next live or my next video. But Gene Suave with the $5 super chat, we appreciate that. Prom said, be careful. They use the I am country girl stuff as a finesse and a cover sometimes. They be the wolf in sheep clothing, speaking from experience. G Suave with the underrated take. That is the truth. That is, Prom with the underrated take. Prom, that's 100%. You gotta use. I just told the female. I just told the female something. Drop some game. I said, don't believe in potential. Believe in what you see. Believe in what you see. You know why I say that? Because potential and work ethic should be heavily aligned. Potential work ethic should be heavily aligned. I don't want to hear nobody talking about they about to be the next CEO of Apple, but they wake up at 12 p.m. noon. They work an hour a day. It's impossible, bro. I'm not gonna believe you. Don't believe in that. A lot of these girls will throw out there that, oh yeah, in my house I was raised to do this, cook clean, doing this. I'm more traditional in the mindset. Women always hit you with that, especially in the States, right? If you're in the States, a woman will swear to you, bro, that she's a old fashioned. They don't say traditional no more in the States. They say old fashioned. They be like, oh, I'm more of an old fashioned girl. You talking to them, you realize the only old fashioned they believe in is the old fashioned girl stuff. The old fashioned stuff that girls get advantage in. The old fashioned benefits of a female. I'm more old fashioned. I don't do 50-50. I'm more old fashioned. I don't believe in paying their rent. I'm more old fashioned. It's down the third, bro. And you turn around and you're like, all right, you more old fashioned? All right, cool. What time dinner ready? They looking at you like you a fool. Dinner? Man, what? So you gotta definitely pay attention to the actions. I told my chick, right? Mind you, I told you I was talking to a chick out here. My baby girl who left me. My baby girl who done left me high and dry. I told her, I say, yo, yo no creo en las palabras. Yo no, I need actions. I don't believe in words. I need actions. It's too many pretty words. It's too many pretty words, guys, and not enough actions. She would say everything, bro. She'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm a great girlfriend, and when we finally together, I'm gonna be doing this, that, and the third." Where the actions at, bro? I don't want to hear no more words. Words are the easiest thing to say. Actions are gonna tell me if you're gonna be a good girlfriend or potentially more. MK, MK says so true. But since I know the deal and have family there, way easier for me to find out through people if she is on BS. MK coming through with the resources. MK coming through with the resources, not doing it alone. It take a village to figure this stuff out. Funny thing, MK, my boy who live in a village, you know, I don't want to say too much about his low, but he live in a village next to a big city. Because he live in a village, everybody knows everybody. So families know other families. So before you get like really involved, you go to your auntie, you go to your mom, you go to your dad. Really go to like not your mom or your dad, maybe your auntie. You be like, Tia, ¿qué pasa con ella? You ask her what's going on with this girl. What's her history? Is she a good girl? She been married? And you get all the info. Because one thing they love in the village is un buen chisme. Un buen chisme. That's a good gossip. They love un buen chisme. Son muy chismoso ahí. They love a good gossip. They love the gossip. They gossipy. So everybody in the village know if you the village girl that be out and about. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in the village know if you that Tatiana. You gotta actually get the info. W take from FK with that. Prom said fact. Prom says facts. They only old fashioned when it benefits them. No bulto. No bulto. Nah, it's true. That's a fact, Prom. That's a fact. They only old fashioned. They selective old fashioned. That's what I like to call it. You know how selective memory is? They selective old fashioned, bro. They be on here talking about, oh yeah, I only want this, I only want that. They selective old fashioned. All right, what time is it, guys? It's almost 4 o'clock. We're gonna rock out to 4. I said we was gonna rock out to 3, but we're gonna rock out to 4. 4 o'clock, I'm going. So drop any questions or anything y'all want me to talk to or talk about right now. We doing Freestyle Friday, y'all. Get the likes up. Ask me any question that's on your mind. 20 minutes y'all got me here. I'm gonna answer anything free of charge. I promise you. If you got a question, let me know, and I'm gonna get back to you. But in the meanwhile, let's let's go back to our conversation. Let's go back to our conversation. Unrealistic expectations. Let's hone in on unrealistic expectations. We can all agree, right? We all know that coming to places like Santo Domingo for the most part, because it is a lot of wealthier people in Santo Domingo. But when we specifically talk about places like Cartagena, where like their bread and butter is like tourism. Same thing with Rio. Rio is a lot of money outside of that, but when you go into these places and you're pretty much, let's call a spade a spade, you're dating poorer women than the ones that are in your own country. This is what I don't get. You're dating poorer woman that's in your own country. If you are dating a woman that is poorer than your own country, and the woman in your own country are already asking you for help, why in the world do you think that the woman in a poor country won't also ask for help? That's what I'm stuck at. I named one reason. I said maybe it's because, you know, when men first started traveling and put it up on YouTube, they kind of focused in on kind of making foreign women perfect. They're a perfect woman. They got no flaws. They got no defects, right? Got no defects. So that was what I initially thought. Now I'm starting to think that it may be like a values thing. Like I think a certain men think that, well, women abroad probably won't ask for money or need help because of values. Like they got different set of values, so they won't ask for money. Because a lot of times we think American women or women in your home country, if she Western, they don't, they, they how it's a TLC song, like "Ain't Too Proud to Beg." Y'all think these women abroad gonna be too proud to ask for money, and y'all think the women in our country are only asking for money because they lack values. That is not a fact. A lot of these women, you know what I'm saying, in these other countries are going to ask for help because of the traditional setup of the system. Because it's not built for one woman to be able to live alone. It's not a values thing. It's not because, it's not they're too proud to beg or they're too proud to ask for something. It's honestly because traditionally the men help in these households. And that's why have the conversation. Have more conversations. And it don't necessarily have to be conversations with the girl. Have conversations, make friends in these countries that you frequent and ask them about the dynamic of the relationships. I hear you guys when y'all talk to locals, guess what the conversation? My bad, I'm not talking to all you guys. I hear guys when they talk to locals in these countries. I may be in Cartagena, I may be in KFC in Cartagena, right? If you know, you know. In a city, in the old city. I may be in KFC, and the locals, they be in there, they talking. I hear these conversations. Y'all want to talk about foolishness in them conversations. Y'all want to talk about how much and all this foolishness. Y'all want to talk about where the baddest girls at. Ask them locals, the male locals, become friends with them and start asking them about the culture. Start asking them about the relationship dynamics. Start asking them about the old relationships. I ask guys all the time out here. Yo, in your old relation, when I was with the subscriber yesterday, when I was with one of the subscribers yesterday, I asked him, I'm like, yo, do your old girl ask you for this? Do your old girl ask you for that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to pick his brain on, is with the girl I'm dealing with personally doing this, or is it a cultural thing? Start asking them questions, bro. Once you ask them certain questions, you'll get a better understanding of the culture, and you'll start seeing what's a cultural thing and what's an individual thing. Like if she just, got certain things going on, or if that's just cultural expectations. So when you're lowering the expectation or changing the expectation with no idea or no reference point to what real expectations are, you screwing yourself over. That's how I think about it. Because you making expectations that don't even exist in the local market based off of YouTubers, influencers who are only going a very small, shallow, or like very specific part of these countries and telling you that it's happening all over. So have the conversation with locals, lock in with them. Um, the ones who speak English are gonna be some of your best friends. The one who speak English are gonna be some of your best friends. Lock in with them. A lot of those guys who I said in the last video, you so tight pocketed when you in Cartagena, in the old city, and they showing you clubs, and you guys getting mad at them because oh, I can figure it out myself, or I don't need nobody help, or give them whatever. I forgot the exchange rate. Give them a couple dollars. Give them a couple dollars. Here, take that. Take my info. Get them on Instagram. I got people in Cartagena from Instagram from 2-3 years ago. I gotta hit them. The power of networking, guys. The power of networking is underrated. That's why September 19th, if you are in the Dominican Republic, September 19th, you are going to want to go ahead and reserve your spot for the Boca Chica meetup. The Boca Chica meetup. The power of a community, the power of networking is super underrated, guys. Go ahead and get your spot because we're going to Boca Chica. It's going to be all vibes. All vibes. Come out, personally meet up with dudes who have similar mindset as you. Personally meet up with guys who travel. Personally meet up guys who living out here. You know what I'm saying? Personally catch a vibe. Personally come out and make these connections because these are the type of people that you're going to find that give more information than you can find on the internet. Internet dudes have good information. What's better? Meeting people outside of the internet. A lot of people don't want their face on the internet. Subscriber I met yesterday, I learned more information, got more information from him than I would get from watching an hour YouTube from some of these guys. 2 hour live with some of these guys. because they're speaking from such a narrow point of view. Speak to the guys with feet on the ground. Talk to the guys who've been in relationships. They'll tell you. They'll tell you the good and the bad. They'll focus on the bad. I'm not gonna lie. They're gonna tell you a lot of bad stuff. They're gonna tell you a lot of bad stuff, but they will tell you the truth. All right, let's get back to this though. Uh, MK back. He said, but seriously, who's gonna be in the DR the holidays December? Definitely let us know. MK John said, I'm gonna be with wifey family in Colombia in December. Gotta get with wifey. Prom said I'm gonna be in towns in a few weeks. Prom, link up. It's pivotal. Link up. MK said, take care, bro. We gotta get to work. Always good lives. Love it. MK, you know you appreciate it here, my boy. MVP of the chat always. MVP. But yeah. I think guys, networking is just so underrated, man. Networking on both the domestic and foreign sides. The domestic and foreign sides, you got to get that information. You got to get that link up. It's nice being a army of one, but you go further when you got a community. You go further, you got a community. Doing it by yourself is cool, but always tell my boy. He told me something that always resonated with me. I was the type of guy I used to try to figure out everything myself. He said he a lawyer, so his mindset is a little different. He said, when you have counsel, use counsel. That's for my top 3 quotes. Use counsel. If you don't know what counsel is, you know how Dirk got Brian Still, Drew Finland, and like a team of lawyers. Use your counsel, bro. Don't try to do it by yourself. Kings have counsels. Presidents have counsels. Everybody need counsel, bro. Those are the people you go to talk to, and you get advice. You get advice. You get information to make informed decisions. You cannot do it by yourself, bro. You need counsel. You need a group of people who have been there, done that. It's important. RH said, who has the best American breakfast in Cartagena? Chat, help RH out. Help him out with his breakfast. He needs to know where the breakfast is busting at. I really don't eat breakfast like that. If I do eat breakfast, I mainly cook it when I'm in Cartagena. I hit the supermercado and buy some good eggs, cheese, bacon, turkey bacon, all that, and I make it myself. TV is in the chat. TV is in the chat. The last chat MVP is back. He said, "Que lo que dime a ver." Do your homework on Dime a ver. Do your homework on that, guys. The MVP from the last chat is back. The finals MVP. TV said the boy is so New York. He's so New York. The boy is so Harlem. You know that breakfast. We don't say breakfast. We say breakfast. Help the boy out with breakfast. Run it up from our age. Y'all gonna let the boy starve? The chat is savage. The chat is too savage today. RH, you just missed MK, our local tour expert for Cartagena in Colombia. The half Colombian guru. You just missed him. He was in here dropping gems the whole game. He had the all-time assist on lock today. He was giving out good assists. Who else in here? What are old school? What are all stars? What are all stars? Shout out again, Juan. Shout out again, Gene Suave, Perception for the super chats. We're gonna start toning things down. 3 hours on the chat. 3 hours on the chat today. Locked in today, man. We had a good chat. I'm glad everybody came and had a good time. What y'all doing this weekend? What's the vibes for the weekend? Everybody's make sure y'all If y'all going out, make sure y'all being safe. Make sure y'all, taking precautions. If you're out of town, if you're in Cartagena, if you're in Medellin, if you're in them places with the Scopianas, if you're in them places with the Scopianas, make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Never leave your drink alone. Oh, bug jumped on me. You don't do that. Prom, prom with the assist. Prom with the assist. Good shit, prom. Central Gastronomica. Prom with this assist. TV said, bro, I don't know if you did a video on this, but what are some of your best food spots in like Capital? Not super fancy, just good food. Great question. Great question. TV, my top places for some good eats. Number one, SBG Cafe. SBG Cafe in Blue Mall. I've been in Italy and they come pretty close. I won't say very close. They come pretty close to the food in Italy. Mind you, I dropped the gem in DR's underrated. I told y'all the Italy connection to the Dominican Republic. It's a lot of Italians here. I'm thinking that's why the name of the downtown is Piantini. I'm thinking that a lot of Italians have history in this neighborhood. A lot of good Italian food here. SBG Cafe is going to be one of those spots that you have to go. In Blue Mall, also, they got a spot called San Mendoza. I think it's called, let me put the name. I think it's San Mendoza that's out in Blue Mall. Another good spot. If you into oysters, they got oysters. Come on ice with the chili, the hot sauce, and all of that. I think they're about $2.50 a pop or something like that. Good oyster spot. Another good food spot. If you want something fast and healthy, Green Bowl. Green Bowl in Agora Mall. Solid, healthy option. More fast food, but solid, healthy option. Um, where else? Where else? Yesterday I went to a spot with the subscriber. I'm only calling him a subscriber because I don't want to dox his info. I went to the spot with the subscriber. Ahumo, right next to Zutro. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Ahumo, right next to Zutro. Monfongo, delicious. Great prices. If you want great prices, Ahumo is gonna be a spot. A Monfongo, a la carne salsita. I paid about $8, under 600 pesos, with the big sangria. Let me show you the sangria. With the big boy sangria, the big boy sangria, 4 cups each. 4 cups each. For 1 meal, 1,000. They got a special in a homo. 1 meal, which is $16, something like that, for 4 cups. You split that, a homo, 1 meal. Good stuff. Um, and yeah, you can find a bunch of other spots in my videos. TVZ said, I'll be there in 2 weeks. Pull up on me. 2 weeks? I think we doing a Boca Chica meetup. Boca Chica meetup in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Let me know if you're going to be out here. Make your reservations. Prom with another assist. Prom is trying to come for the assist title. He's trying to take the assist leader title from MK. Prom is dishing out. MK is out the game hurt. Prom is back. TVZ said, thanks. You already know. Arthur Mack says, what city in DR do you recommend for first-time visitors? TVZ said, it depends what you are looking for. Good answer. First-time visitor, just want to get a good vibe. Just want to put foot in the DR. I'm going to say If you want, if you are more adventurous, if you comfortable, if you know how to maneuver, I'm gonna say Santo Domingo. If you know how to maneuver, you comfortable traveling around the city. It's not your first time traveling in general. I'm gonna say Santo Domingo. Santo Domingo could be a little overwhelming for somebody who doesn't travel. If it's your first time out the country, I don't recommend it. If you travel, Santo Domingo. If you completely new to traveling, don't travel too much. You like more of a slower pace, something like more safe and everything. Punta Cana. Go to a resort in Punta Cana. No work needed. You just show up. They serving you drinks. They giving you food. You just show up. You hit the downtown spots and the party spots. Infinity and Punta Cana. You hit that. You hit Coco Bongo. You hit downtown Punta Cana starting at like 8 p.m. You solo. A lot of people think you can't go to Punta Cana solo. You can officially go to Punta Cana solo. Punta Cana is more Sosua right now than Sosua. You know. Punta Cana is more Sosua than Sosua right now. Go to Punta Cana. It's a bunch of people you can meet out there. That's the best way I can tell you. I can't give it to you no other way. You can use your own mind to figure out. Punta Cana is good for solo traveling. So either Santo Domingo or Punta Cana. Prom said if you're going through divorce or breakup, Sosua is a great start. If you're looking for Bill and speaks some Spanish, Santo Domingo. Very good answer also. Very good answer also. TVZ said I don't know how Punta Cana became like Sosua. TVZ, I seen an article, not an article, I seen a post. Every time I turn around, I don't know what it is about Punta Cana, but the whole wave just the whole wave just went over there. The whole wave just went over there. If you know, you know. The whole wave just went over there. But I'm also seeing a lot of like females get arrested. So I'm not sure the rules and the regulations and the laws in DR and if they were just turning a blind eye to it in Sosua. But a lot of females are getting arrested. I wouldn't say a lot, but I've seen females getting arrested in Punta Cana. Let me see if I can see find it up. Let me see if I saved it. A lot of females getting arrested in Punta Cana for mischievous behavior. So I'm not sure if they just don't want that type of stuff going on in Punta Cana. But right now, Punta Cana, if you go to the American-based clubs or downtown Punta Cana, you can find more people to talk to than in Sosua. I don't think I saved it. But yeah, man, that's what it's looking like, man. Anyway, man, it's 4 on the dot. Thank you guys for clocking in. I had a really good time. Sunday, bro. Sunday, we coming back. Balcony Sunday. Don't forget, guys, if you want me to speak on a specific topic, hit the link. Let me see if I can find a link. Hit the link so you guys can. Oh, snap. Hold on. How you do this? Hit the link so you guys can request it beforehand. I will be ready. I will be able to look up the subject and really, you know what I'm saying, break it down in a much more detailed way. But we can only do that if y'all let me know before. Let me find a link real quick. Let me find a link. Let me find a link. I can only do that if you guys let me know before. Oh shit, can I not do that? Oh my goodness. You're making it hard for me. They're making it hard for me, chat. But it's not impossible. How Kevin Garnett said, and it is possible. We only winning chips out here, man. Hit the link. Hit the link. All the way at the bottom. We got a tab for any request. Any request at the bottom. You could go there, hit the link. You could go see all of the link ups and all of that. You want to talk to me on a more in-depth, you want to get into rent prices, you want to get into neighborhood prices, you want to get into safety, you want to get into like in-depth past experiences, living in Via Mia, you know what I'm saying, staying downtown, You know, staying in Boca Chica. I've been all around the DR. You want a black American perspective, black American perspective, 101. Any questions you got, I got y'all. But anyway, any last minute questions before we get out of here? TVZ say he gonna request I do a whole video in Spanish. Oh man, I got you, man. If you request it, I'm gonna do it. I think it might just be me and you in here because people ain't gonna try to hear all that, but I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it, bro. But anyway, yeah, thanks for rocking out again. Sunday we coming back. Next Friday, Freestyle Friday, I might come on later. I know I do this like right in the middle of work. I know a lot of people gotta work and all that, so I might do this a little later next Friday. Might be a nightcap. But anyway, have a good day, guys. Have a good weekend. I'll see y'all on Sunday. Come back on Sunday. I'll see y'all. I'm out of here.